celebrating our 10th season as your home for Major League Baseball.
Coming up on ESPN's Wednesday Night Baseball, the New York Yankees, baseball's most dominating force, continue to welcome Albert Bell, Cal Ripken, and the rest of the Orioles to the Bronx. Also, will the Braves get any love in Philadelphia when they face off against Scott Rowland and the rest of the Phillies for their second series of the year? Meanwhile, Game 2 features Houston's Killer Bees, Biggio, Bell, and Bagwell heading west to visit Barry Bonds, Dusty Baker, and the rest of the Giants. And will it be a long ball bash again for Raul Mondesi and the Dodgers as they head to Arizona to face Luis Gonzalez and the Diamondbacks? We'll keep you up to date on everything on Wednesday Night Baseball on ESPN. Most of you heading to the Bronx in a few moments, where Scott Erickson and the Orioles will try and right the ship against the New York Yankees. There are easier assignments in baseball. Some of you will be at the Vet in Philadelphia, where Kevin Millward will try to best Paul Berg. Keep in mind, Berg won the first matchup earlier in the year. Hi, everybody. I'm Trey Wingo. Welcome to the Baseball Tonight studios. We'll keep you updated on everything going on. There was one final this afternoon. The Reds and the Cubs played at Wrigley, and the long ball was going out for a Cubs outfielder. But it wasn't Sammy Sosa. Glenn Allen Hill, playing against right-handed pitching in a rare spot because Henry Rodriguez was hurt, hit 2. He's now tied for the Major League lead with 4 as the Cubs beat the Reds by the final score of 5-4. Keep in mind, Sammy Sosa did snap out of his early season slump, had 2 doubles and a walk. That's good news for Cubs fans. We'll be here all night keeping you updated. Now out to your games. Enjoy the coverage, everybody.
ESPN's Wednesday Night Baseball is brought to you by American Express. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, American Express helps you do more.
28 World Champion New York Yankees. The Baltimore Orioles in town for Game 2 of this set. The Yankees won the opener 6-3 last night. Orioles-Yankees from the Bronx, New York. Hello, everybody. I'm Gary Thorne, along with Ray Knight, and welcome. For the Baltimore Orioles, lots of money spent, Ray, with the hope that they were going to be able to catch this Yankee team, maybe in the division, but at least get them in a wild card situation later. And one of the big checks went to Albert Bell.
It certainly did. Albert Bell has been so consistent. He's a man that could carry this ball club if he gets hot offensively. Over the course of the season, last 3 years, he's hit 44 home runs average. There you see over the last 7 years, 30 home runs, 100 RBIs. So he's pretty constant. Add to that, Delano DeShields, Will Clark, and Charlie Johnson, and they added some pretty good ball players.
New York Yankees didn't have to add anything. When you get best team in the world, why do anything with it except get Roger Clemens, which is what they did. Their starters are off to a great start. 1.51, the combined ERA for the starters of the Yankees as they come into this game, and none better than the guy we'll see tonight.
Well, David Cohn has just been unbelievable his whole career. Has always been a stout front. Now he doesn't have to go to the front. But in his first game in inclement weather, changeup away, fastball up, another fastball up. Then he comes back with his vintage slider down and away, another slider down and away, then just paints the corner on a fastball away. So you're going to see a man tonight that throws 6 or 7 different pitches at all kind of speeds and all kind of arm angles.
Ray, there's been a lot of discussion here in New York already in this baseball season. This Yankee team last year, in many people's minds, was the best baseball team ever. Is this year's edition even better than last year?
I don't know that it can be, Gary. A lot of things went right for this ball club last year. Certainly with the addition of Roger Clemens, it can help this ball club be as good. I just don't know how you can go through a full season without having people hurt and losing a number 1 or 2 starter. If they stay healthy, they can certainly equal last year's record, but everything seemed to go right for them. And I think they expect to win 100 ball games, but to win 114, I don't know.
That would be something else. They have started out losing the first game of the year, never lost since. A 6-game win streak. Roger Clemens will be making the start against Baltimore tomorrow. Ray Miller's team not off to the start they wanted. His second year as manager, 2 wins and 5 losses, including the loss last night. Take a look at the Baltimore Orioles starting lineup as the Yankees take the field. Brady Anderson will be leading it off. Center field, Mike Bordick, the shortstop, second. Newly acquired Will Clark will be at first base for Clark. 300-plus average 4 of the last 5 years, and he can hit the long ball. Albert Bell will be in that cleanup hole in right field. Designated hitter supreme in today's game, Harold Baines, the DH. B.J. Surhoff in left field. Cal Ripken starting at third base. The story behind the plate for this game, Lenny Webster will be the starting catcher, and Delino DeShields getting back into action after missing most of the spring and the early start of this year. He'll start at second base.
And 36-year-old David Cohn on the mound. Last year posted a 20-7 record, tied for the league in wins. Has a, as we mentioned in the open, a fastball that he throws a couple different ways, sinks it, as well as rides it up in the zone. A slider that he throws flat and has a big slurve breaking ball, and also the split finger. About 5 or 6 pitches, again, all different kind of angles. Over his career, 168 and 93 with a 3.17 earned run average. So it's not that he just had a great year last year. Another point, though, Gary, he won 20 games in 1988 for the New York Mets. And last year, the longest period of time between winning 20 games, went 10 years from 1998 to 1988. And then he has
amazing rubber arm, huh?
He really does. And last year, over 200 innings for the first time in 4 years. The defense behind him, you see, only committed 1 error thus far this season. This ball club does so many things right. We know they can hit, we know they can pitch, but defensively, 1 error, unbelievable. Chuck Knobloch, the second baseman there. Young Billinger at third base in place of the injured Scott Brocious.
Baltimore Orioles hoping to get into the win column against the Yankees here in Game 2 of this series. Lenny Webster, who will be doing the catching in this game, takes a look at this team that you look at and says, you know, we've got the veterans. We've got the guys who've won games before and been on winners. In fact, we're 2-5 at the start. Not a big concern.
We have a good group of veterans that are assembled here that are very level, low-key kind of guys and don't get too high or too low. So we're trying to stand an even keel, but like I said, I'm sure we'll get rolling here pretty soon. We'll win some ball games, and we won't get too high about winning them. And right now, we're not getting too low about losing them, but you definitely want to break this string and start winning some ball games.
And he'll have a hand in it if they're going to do it tonight. They have lost their last 2. They're on a huge trip, an 11-day road trip, the longest trip that franchise has ever had in its history for the first month of the season. Cal Ripken there with his hat off. He'll be making the start at third base for the Baltimore Orioles. So we'll see. This is the team that everybody is measured against. The Baltimore Orioles measure themselves against the Yankees. A windy night, but a comfortable one here at Yankee Stadium. The wind is blowing left to right field, and it was really gusting this afternoon and still blowing pretty good here at the start of this ball game. There you see that flag out there in left center field near the monuments, and the flag's up even higher top of the stadium are gusting good time, and it'll swirl here. Look how the Yankee flag's going one way and the U.S. flag the other. Outfielders don't like looking at that. Freddie Anderson, 1 for 4 in the opener. David Cohn delivers, and we're underway. Pitch is up high for a ball from Cohn. 9 for 30. Home run and 2 RBIs for Anderson. Drills that one deep to right field. It is curving, and it is foul. He launched that one into the upper deck halfway back, and the wind may have had an impact already. Man, that ball might have been fair without the wind.
It may have. That ball really started off about 20 feet fair. Brady thinks he's got a chance, and it just hooks real hard when it gets up there in that strong wind trough, and it looks like to me with the wind blowing that way, it's going to go to right field, from center field down to the right field line.
Left-handers may get some help in this ball game on those big fly balls. David Cohn missing with that one. 2-ball, 1-strike count.
Brady is the all-time leadoff home run hitter with 12 in 96.
And Cohn just missed. David Cohn will throw a lot of pitches in the course of a game. All kinds of angles. Throws the fastball, splitter, slider, curve. And that one is swung out and missed. He comes back to take it full.
And what makes it so tough there, 3-1, fastball, 88 miles an hour, down the middle of the plate with a little bit of run away from you. He can throw a fastball when he's behind the count effectively and get a lot of hitters to swing through it. In fact, in my mind, I don't think anybody throws more fastballs that get swung through because the change of speed.
And different arm angles. Foul back again. David Cone opened the season up with a victory, and a rain-soaked one it was. He came away with a 12-3 win. Gave up 1 run, 5 1/3 innings, striking out 6, walked 7 in the ball game, but nevertheless got the W against Oakland in his opener this year. They're going for a 2-0 mark early on, and he gives up the walk. So David Cone walks the leadoff batter. He walked only 59 all of last year in 207 innings.
Well, he's always had great control and the ability to put the ball, as you mentioned, those arm angles, Gary, to spots. Not only has he been a great power pitcher, averaging almost a strikeout per inning throughout his career and over a strikeout per inning last year, but he's a pitcher. And
well,
that's when you know you have that no-hit type stuff.
Boy, he does every game. Mike Bordick, first in sacrifice bunts in the league last year with 15. With Bordick on at first base, being held, Martinez moved in at third, figuring the Orioles might try and generate a run here. Bordick's checking at third with Coach Sam Perlazzo. See if it might be on, even with a bag at third base. Bellinger, the third baseman, Scott Brocious out with a twisted ankle. He does bunt, fouls it back, and there'll be no play on that one.
Well, I often wondered what type of manager Ray Miller would be. Great pitching coach, but after spending all those years under Earl Weaver, who did not like to bunt at all, believed in mainly the 3-run home run, and then all those years as a pitching coach for Jimmy Leland, who you know loved to get that 1-run lead. Jay Bell hitting second, oftentimes having 35, 40 sacrifice bunts a season, choosing the Jimmy Leland method tonight.
Trying to just get a lead here in this ball game off Cone. Throw over to first, Brady Anderson back. Anderson, not a typical leadoff batter. Gets a lot of fly balls, a lot of home runs, and doesn't have a great deal of speed as a base runner. But does get on base. He's at first. Pretty good lead over there. Bordick with an 0-2. And Cone, seeing that lead, makes the throw over.
Well, early in his career, Brady could steal 40 bases. Last year, he stole 21 out of 28. But as you mentioned, very few people with that type of power. Doesn't walk a lot.
Bordick swinging away, and he's gone. A slider 90 miles away on that one, but Bordick behind on the count, just not quite. 1 ball, 2 strike count, rather, on Bordick.
Well, this just shows you how tough that slider is. He drops down. That ball right there is 18 inches off the end of the bat, maybe about 2 feet off the outside part of the plate. Great job there by Girardi.
Again, that lead over there at first base shortened up. David Cone. Brady Anderson just testing him now and has gone about as far as he can go over there in that lead. Bordick with a 1 ball, 2 strike count. Infield double play depth, outfield not deep. Anderson running. Check swing is a ball. It'll be a stolen base. So Brady Anderson, a stolen base. Girardi lost control of that ball as he tried to come up with it to make the throw.
Well, there's one thing that you can do is come out of the gate being aggressive. Brady Anderson, having seen 4 pitches now, gets a good jump. Tough ball for Girardi to handle. The ball just pops out and he loses handle of it a little bit. But I like this. I like Ray coming out trying to get a run early.
Bordick with the RBI chance, but he'll go down swinging. So Cone gets the strikeout on Mike Bordick.
Well, David Cone just vintage there. 2 fastballs up, fell to bunt him, then a slider way away, then a fastball sinking. Then he comes back with a slow slider, about 5 miles an hour slower than the previous slider that Bordick chased after and rings him up.
Will Clark will get the opportunity now with a runner in scoring position. Clark already has delivered 5 RBIs and a couple of home runs. And takes the pitch on the inside corner.
Left-handers don't fare very well against Cone either. With that change-up away, 213 left-handers hit in 1997 and 230 last year.
Anderson off second base. Clark takes the off-speed pitch up high. Clark's got a 7-game hit streak. Red hot. He's had at least 1 hit in all 7 games, and they've been extra base hits with a double, 2 home runs, 19 total bases. 4 walks and 4 strikeouts. That's a good start for the former Texas Ranger. And Cohn's up high to him. 2 ball, 1 strike count on Clark. Clark hasn't fared well against David Cohn, Ray. He's only 12 for 56 off him. Does have 1 home run off Cohn. In this ball game, virtually all of the hitters in both lineups have seen a lot of the opposing pitchers, veterans, in their career. And that one sinks down and away, and Clark's 3-1.
I don't know if that helps against Dave Cohn. Erickson, on the other hand, throws a lot of sinkers and sliders, everything pretty much the same speed. Dave Cohn, we're going to start taking a read on his velocities here and see how often and just how much he takes off of each pitch, adding to and taking away from his fastball.
Anderson off second base. Will Clark. Off-speed strike on the outside corner.
That's a little split finger there. 3-1. He's not afraid to throw it. Just a split finger dying away. And there's no way a hitter's going to swing at it. If he does, he's not going to do anything with it. Just a perfect pitch. And David Cohn's able to do that as often as anybody. There's big Albert Bell there waiting on deck.
3-2 count. Anderson at second. That one hit in the air, center field. Williams backing up. 408, warning track near the wall. Can he bobble it? Late start at second. Brady Anderson will make the turn and be held at third. Williams had room, had the ball on the glove. Brady Anderson was set to tag at second base and couldn't believe the ball was actually dropped by Bernie Williams.
Actually turned out okay for the Orioles, but a bad base running situation there. Brady Anderson, with 1 out, you're always halfway, because if you tag up there and the ball's caught, there's 2 outs and it doesn't do you any good to get to third base. Here he should be halfway and able to get to third, then be able to score when he drops the ball. Here Brady Anderson, see, goes back to tag. No reason to do that, because at third base with 2 outs doesn't give you a whole lot of advantage. But he would have been able to score if he goes halfway on that ball.
And they are going to charge an error. That's only the second Yankee error. The first one came last night. This Gold Glover out there in center field doesn't miss many, but he didn't get himself positioned. He thought he was closer to the wall than he actually was.
And he was drifting on that ball. There's 408 feet out there to center field. That ball was hit really high up into that wind.
Bell with a big cut on Cohn.
Little tardy. There you see the deep reaches of center field out there. This is a huge ballpark. 399 in left center field. The biggest park in left center field of any park in all of baseball. 408, ample room in center field, and 385 fairly deep in right center.
Sliders taken down and away off Cohn. 1 ball, 1 strike count on Bell. Well, Albert Bell certainly started out like a house of fire. He's hit safely in 6 of 7. 9 for his first 18 in 5 games. 1 for his last 9 for Albert Bell as an Oriole. Slider misses away. 1 ball, 1 strike count on Bell. 2-base error charge. Last year, Bernie Williams out there committed only 2 errors all season long.
Well, he won his second consecutive Gold Glove. As you see the grip on the split finger there.
And Bell towards short. Anderson coming home. Jeter will go to third and get the out. So Bell will be credited for the RBI. That is the 6th run batted in for Bell. Will Clark has to stay at second base with 2 down, but the Orioles go on top here, 1-0.
Look at his grip here. He always starts his grip with a split finger. There you see the split finger grip right there. Presses it in. He has to get the grip before he goes in the glove, because when he goes in the glove and you press it down, they'll read it. He changes it in his glove to a slider and throws a little slider, ground ball, shortstop.
Errol Baines fouls it back. Baines like the eternal designated hitter. Errol Baines just keeps signing 1-year contracts, a new one for about $1.8 million with the Orioles for this year. Designated hitter is what he does. 1,417 games as a DH. 11 games shy of tying Hal McRae's all-time leader mark in the DH position. Taken inside by Baines. 1 ball, 1 strike count.
Well, this is going to be a really tough call for all those people out there that vote for Hall of Famers. Baines has 2,649 career hits, 348 home runs, most all of those as a DH.
haven't had to deal with that really when it comes to Hall of Fame voting.
You really
yet,
haven't.
because
You
you're
really
just getting to guys like Baines who have had careers as designated hitters. And it won't be easy because obviously it is a one-dimensional game, the hitting aspect. The third consecutive 300 campaign as a DH last year for Harold Baines, now 40 years old. 1-2 delivery to him and a chopper to first. Foul ball. Oh, Baines will come back. David Cone has already thrown 25 pitches here in the first inning against the Orioles. Now, he'll throw a lot of pitches, as we mentioned earlier, because Cone will take the count deep off him. But even for David Cone, this is an extensive first inning.
Yeah, and this early in the season, you do not want to go past 110 or 115 pitches. David Cone has had that circulation problem in his fingers in cold weather. Fairly nippy here tonight.
Yeah, with the wind blowing the way it is, and we should point that out on that ball dropped in center field. That wind may have been a factor in that, too.
Oh, I definitely think it was.
They kept blowing the ball.
And because he was running along with the ball, and you just don't see Bernie Williams do that.
2-2 delivery. Hit in the air to right field. Wind's blowing there, but O'Neill's got room. And he'll haul it in. So it will be an unearned run for the Baltimore Orioles. Scott Erickson will take the mound with a 1-0 lead. The Orioles, the unearned run, take the 1-0 lead as we go to the bottom half of the first inning. Don Zimmer, of course, doing the managing while Joe Torre recovers. His health problems are going along fine. Don Zimmer's are too. He's got a bad knee, but he's still managing. For the Yankees, Chuck Knobloch will lead it off. To be at second base, Jeter's the shortstop, Paul O'Neill in right, Bernie Williams in center. Tino Martinez at first base. Chili Davis, the designated hitter, the first American League Player of the Week, as he put up huge numbers, batting .500 with 3 home runs in that week. Spencer gets the start in left field. Bellinger makes the start at third base, and Joe Girardi is doing the catching.
And on the mound for the Baltimore Orioles, Scott Erickson, 31 years old, 115 and 96 lifetime, 16 and 13 last year with a 4.01 earned run average. You see there what he did opening outing. He lost, not too bad, not too many base on balls, 9 hits and 7 innings pitched. Gives up a lot of hits, sinker ball, slider, occasional split finger. Excellent sinker, ball runs in. You'll see a lot of ground balls to the left side tonight.
Yankees come in 6-1 on the year. Baltimore 2-5 here as we go into week number 2 of the '99 season. Chuck Knobloch will be leading it off. Jeter and O'Neill will follow. Slow start for Knobloch at the plate. Has picked up an RBI, however, for the Yankees. Yankees starting out first week batting .271, but the real deal, the opponent's hitting .178 off Yankee pitching. And that one is taken for a ball. Knobloch in the leadoff spot already has been hit by a couple of pitches. He'll stand right over that plate. Year after year gets clonked a lot. That one all the way to the backstop, and a 2-0 count on Knobloch. Erickson, like Cone, throws a ton of pitches. So for both of them, not unusual to go deep into the count. Foul back, and on a fastball, it's 2-1. Erickson with 251 innings last year, the most thrown, and gave up the most hits, 284. So he works with people on base all the time. Knobloch with a 2-1 coming. That'll even it up. 2 foul balls, 2-2.
And Knobloch has always been a very patient hitter. You look back to '95, he scored 107 runs, '96, 140, '97, 117. Then last year, when a lot of people said he had an off year, still scored 117 runs while hitting a career-high 17 home runs.
And he'll foul that one off the other way. 3 foul balls after Erickson had got behind on the count, 2-0.
Gary, you mentioned Erickson's leading the league in innings pitched and hits given up. He also led the league in pitches, 3,902 pitches. And you mentioned hits, complete games, led the league in that with 11.
That's a real workhorse. He creates a lot of his own. Down the right field line, hit into the porch. Goodbye, home run. Leadoff homer, Chuck Knobloch. Didn't take long for the Yankees to tie it.
Fastball up. Scott Erickson lives and dies on the ball down. That's after seeing 6 pitches on the first at bat. Knobloch eking in around that corner. Look at Knobloch. This is what you do when you hit 167. Pumps his arm a little bit. As everybody says, professional ball club. Don't get too excited.
17 home runs last year for Knobloch, and the Yankees have tied the ball game up. They've now out-homered the opposition 13-3 so far already this year. 13 home runs. Derek Jeter off the fist. That one's going to be trouble. It's a looper that falls in fair. Up into the seats and a ground rule double. The short porch down the right field line, giving the Yankees a homer and a ground rule double to Jeter. One of the features of Yankee Stadium is that 314 line in right.
And left field, 318, very tight to the foul line, only about 3 feet. No room, actually, over there to maneuver for an outfielder. Derek Jeter fast becoming not one of the best shortstops in the league, but if he improves on his power as he's already begun this year, only question about him was how much power he had when you compare him to A-Rod. Worked off a little bit, bulked up a little bit, and that strength right there shows you fighting the ball off for a double.
So the Yankees treating Erickson rudely here in the start. They've tied it up. Jeter's on at second base with a double. He's got 3 doubles, 3 triples, and 3 home runs. For Derek Jeter, we're only in week 2. Paul O'Neill. RBI opportunity for one of the game's really fine hitters. O'Neill pumps that one back. Erickson in trouble early, and O'Neill can add to it. You don't want to make a mistake against Paul O'Neill. 10th in RBIs last year on this highly offensive ball club. 116 runs batted in. Jeter off second base. High and inside. 2 ball, 1 strike count.
As are all these Yankees, including Chili Davis right there, talking to Chuck Knobloch. So patient at the plate. I don't know that I've ever seen a lineup as patient in getting a good ball to hit as these New York Yankees are.
They took more pitchers than anyone almost in history last year with their World Championship and 114 wins the regular season.
Well, I was a part of that Big Red Machine as a young player, and with Rose leading off, and Griffey and Morgan and Bench, that they were, and Perez, unbelievably patient at the plate. But it didn't go all the way down. You had Concepcion and Geronimo, who was 3 swingers. This club goes all the way down to the 9 hole.
There are no holes in this Yankee lineup. 3 ball, 2 strike count on O'Neill. Yankees looking for their 7th win in a row, and their 2nd against the Orioles. The Orioles have lost their last 7 games here at Yankee Stadium. 6-0 last year. The Yankees whipped them here at the stadium. 1-0 so far this year. Inside, he walked it. Erickson now piling up the numbers. 14 pitches thrown by Erickson.
Defense for the Baltimore Orioles tonight. Lenny Webster catching, pretty much Erickson's personal catcher. You know that Charlie Johnson's been acquired, has done a great job for this ball club thus far. But Lenny Webster catching most of the starts as you look at Charles Johnson, whom I think is the best defensive catcher in the game.
Now, there's a real dispute going on right now, and it's pretty hot between Scott Erickson, the starting pitcher, and his manager, pitching coach in his day, Ray Miller, who now manages the Orioles. Bernie Williams stands in. Ray Miller is not happy with what Erickson has said publicly at the start of this season. Williams down to first base. Clark has to go to Erickson, who wasn't looking. Erickson Erickson thought Will Clark had thrown the ball to second base. He was looking for the return. The ball never went there, and it'll be an error charge as it bounced off his chest.
Well, a lot of things have been said negative about Ray Miller. I don't agree. I don't agree that players should go and just blast out to the newspaper things that have gone on. Here, Will Clark, I don't know why he doesn't go to second base. I cannot see whether the shortstop was there looking at the monitor. But here's a perfect flip, and Erickson seeing Will pump towards second, looking, waiting for the call to be there, and this is just what happens to clubs that struggle. You cannot explain it. You don't know it. You dig a hole. It starts getting deeper and deeper and deeper.
It will be an error charge to Erickson. The bases are loaded because Jeter stopped at third. Nobody out. Tino Martinez. The position, Erickson, when the season started, said, I didn't get enough innings in spring training, and it's Ray Miller's fault. Then he got through his first start, and he wasn't happy and said, Lenny Webster's a guy I want catching, not Charles Johnson. That's why Webster's catching. That one grounded to second base. To Shields, boarding, relay. They turn 2, a run scores. Yankees have the 2-1 lead, no RBI. Big out right there to get Tino Martinez to hit into that double play with nobody out and the bases loaded.
Well, he made a great pitch, and that's a sign of a really good pitcher there, but I don't think too much today, Gary, and as a former manager, too much players talk to the press. Anytime that they have a problem, it's always the manager's fault. In the days that I played, you never said anything to the press. Certainly not about your manager. Your butt would be back in AAA the next day. But hardly any power now in managers. General managers have pretty much complete autonomy. And the manager just sitting there waiting to get their legs cut out from under them, and it's not a fair thing, especially when players go and talk behind your back.
Chili Davis up. 7-game hit streak for Davis.
I mean, heck, why don't you go into the manager during spring training and say, this is what I need? And I don't know a manager around that's not going to give you what you need. If you wait till after the fact, it's too late. And I just call those excuses.
3 home runs, 7 RBIs already for the designated hitter. Well, Ray Miller made it very clear to me tonight before the game in the dugout talking with him. He said, I've had it. I don't like what he said. I don't like the fact he went public. I stood up for all these guys last year. I took heat for them. It's not fair what he's doing to me, and I'm about ready to have it out with him. He said, if I get another little breeze about Erickson saying something else, we're going to have a talk. Down to third base. Ripken bobbles. Another error, and a run scores. And the Yankees have a 3-1 lead, and the Orioles self-destructing here in the first inning. They're going to call it a base hit. RBI.
Well, I don't disagree with that call. Very tough call. Left-handed batter swinging away. The ball's hit right on the end. It's going to be corkscrewing away from Rip. He comes there, puts his head right on the ball. Very difficult play. Probably as tough a play as you're going to have as a third baseman. Left-hander hitting the ball, slicing away from you, not very hard, and the ball is just not going to bounce. Generally, that ball kicked with that severe side spin and just a difficult play.
So a base hit, RBI. Chili Davis has now hit in all 8 ball games. Another RBI for Davis. He's at first. 2 down. Shane Spencer at the plate. 3-1 lead. Spencer getting the start. Don Zimmer saying tonight, just want to get everybody in. They've got a lot of players who can play in this Yankee team. Some sitting on the bench like Spencer. That's why he's only 1 for 3. Ricky Leday has not started out particularly well, going 0 for 7. So Leday sitting it out. Spencer getting the start in left. Darryl Strawberry, of course, still in extended spring training. He hasn't started to play games yet. Chad Curtis is another. He started out hot, 5 for 18 with 2 home runs. Those are the guys on the bench. Swung on and missed. So Erickson's able to get out of the inning, but a leadoff homer by Knobloch, RBI double by Jeter, RBI single by Davis. And the Yankees are up. As the Yankees have gone up 3-1 as we go to the second inning. This ball club that won 114 games during the regular season last year, that's the World Championship ring. Darryl Strawberry was on hand for opening day at Yankee Stadium to received the ring, and so was Joe Torre. And he looks great. Joe Torre says he hopes to be back by the end of May. So the Yankees under Don Zimmer. And this guy's got 50 years, 50th anniversary being involved in Major League Baseball for Don Zimmer. One of the game's great characters and outstanding players. Paul O'Neill out there, these guys love him. I mean, working for Zimmer is about as easy as it can get as a player when you got a team that's won 114 games.
Yeah, he's smarter than all of us put together. He just lets them go out there and play and don't worry about a whole lot.
Yep. Got the horses, you win. Those are horses you're looking at right there. And of course, they kept the whole club together, except for the one change. Clemens coming over. So David Cohn's got a two-run lead to work with here. B.J. Surhoff leading it off. Surhoff, Ripken, and Webster. Surhoff 8 for 27 lifetime off David Cohn. And the fastball missed down low. It's as though that low strike may be a problem for the pitchers in this game. Terry Kraft, home plate umpire, has let a couple go that looked like they had a chance of being strikes. So he came up a little bit and it's foul back. If anybody can adjust on the mound, this guy can. 36 years old, 20-game winner, number 1 in the American League in wins last year, 5th in strikeouts. Fouled off down the left field line. It'll stay there, 2-2. Thus far, the Yankees starting the season out making it look too easy. Lose the first one, then win 6 in a row. Their starting pitchers virtually unhittable so far. And if they need a bullpen, they may have one of the game's best in that department too. El Duque, Fernando Hernandez went over to watch his half-brother pitch at Shea Stadium the other day. Ivan Hernandez was up to Florida and started a game against the Mets. It was a day off for the Yankees. So he went over as a fan and sat and watched. Brother was not successful in the start. 3-2. Fouled off again by Surhoff.
Where most teams are trying to put together 3 solid starters, the Yankees have 6 solid starters. Right now, Andy Pettit on the DL. But Arabu.
Left field. Spencer back. It's over his head. Takes the hop off the wall. Surhoff heading into second base. And the Orioles come right back in the second inning with a leadoff double by B.J. Surhoff.
Fastball up and out. That ball's almost outside, but Surhoff respecting the changeup. As I mentioned before, Cohen throwing a lot of changeups to left-handed hitters. Surhoff cheating toward left field to protect that pitch, gets the fastball up and drives it just short of the wall.
First extra base hit of the year for B.J. Surhoff. He's on at second base. That's the Orioles' first hit, even though they've got a run. They got a run on no hits, an error, and a walk in the first inning. And the strike taken by Cal Ripken. Oh, for Cal, it has been tough with his dad passing away, of course. Now trying to get himself back focus-wise into the ball game. First time he'd had to sit out because of an injury. Couple of games already here at the start of this year. And at the age of 38 for Cal, this has been one of the toughest years to get it going in his career. Fouls that one back. 2-strike count.
Well, he told me before the game, we talked for about 15 minutes, and I played with him in '87. We became close friends. He just told me he was still in a fog. And he's working his way out of it. It's tough. But, you know, he was with his dad almost every day. And there's his father's number 7 patch on the sleeve that all these Orioles are wearing out of respect. But Cal Ripken Sr. did as much as Earl Weaver to make this ball club the ball club that they were and were respected for in the 70s and 80s, even in the 60s. He taught the Oriole way, fundamentally sound baseball. I had the opportunity to play for him in '87 as a manager. And there was nobody in the game that I respected more. He let you go out and play. He didn't say a whole lot. Very tough on umpires. I mean, that he got from Earl Weaver. But work ethic, he would throw batting practice all day long. But what I was going to say, it's tough enough to lose a parent. I lost my mom in '94, but I left home at 17 and was away from her for the next 25 years. Cal was with his dad almost every day. And that closeness was evident, but it never hindered the baseball part of it.
For either of them.
For either of them. And then Billy came along, was a part of that club in '87.
Ripken here with a 2-strike count. Runner at second base, Surhoff reached for that one and popped it up third base. Bellinger will put it away. And there's one down. Surhoff at second. And elsewhere, let's check in with Trey Wingo. Trey.
Gary, Mitsubishi takes us to the vet. The last time Paul Byrd faced the Braves, he beat him. He's not going to do that on this night. Chipper Jones, a big reason why. First an RBI double, and then that charge, his second homer of the year. It's 6-0 Braves, Gary.
Yow. Atlanta Braves jumping out big time. They've had some problems here at the start of the season. Their starters haven't exactly torn it up. Nevertheless, they are 5-3, won their last 2. Surhoff remains at second base with one down, and this is Webster, the catcher. Orioles 0 for 5 with runners in scoring position. They had this big problem in that regard last night where they couldn't get a big hit against the Yankees. Foul back. That's indicative again of the toughness of the Yankee pitchers. You've got this veteran staff, guys like Cone. They get people in scoring position against them. They're even tougher to hit.
Well, there's Ramiro Mendoza, who is really the 4th starter on this ball club, or has been really the swing man, the 6th starter, with Arabu being the 5th starter and Pettit the 4th starter, Orlando El Duque the 3rd starter, and Dave Cone number 2, and Roger Clemens number 1. As I was going to say earlier, there's so many clubs out there scuffling to get 2 starters. And there are a lot of clubs that do not have a number 1 or number 2 starter. Milwaukee comes to mind. The Cardinals come to mind. This club has actually 5 starters that are better than number 3 starters.
Breaking ball taken away on the slider. A 3-ball, 1-strike count on Letty Webster. He's had only 8 at-bats, couple of hits, both singles so far on the season. David Cone working. Surhoff at second and get a huge lead. Nobody's holding Surhoff remotely close. And he walked it. So David Cone surrenders his second walk of the game. And Cone's not happy with himself. This is one of those nights when Zimmer and Cone both know, at least for the moment, he's pitching without his best stuff.
Yeah, and he's one of those guys that can do that. When you are the type of pitcher that he is, you come out there, sometimes your stuff is electric. What I mean by that is it's so tough nobody really gets a fat part of the bat on the ball. Then there's nights he comes out there when it's a little cool, as is tonight. He throws a lot of pitches. That was his 46th pitch right there. We're only in the top of the second. 46 pitches. That 26 of those strikes, 20 balls. What that's going to do is cut down how many innings he can throw. He's only looking at Mel Stottlemyre there, the pitching coach, at about 110 pitches. His limit tonight, so he's going to have to hit an inning where he gets pitched shallow.
Delino DeShields at the plate takes it away. 1 ball, 1 strike on DeShields, looking for his first hit as a Baltimore Oriole. DeShields has gone 0 for 7. He had physical problems on the DL with a fractured left thumb that kept him out of the start of this season. So he's trying to work his way back into playing shape now, and the 0 for 7's the beginning. He's behind on this count, 1-2.
He's gone away with him with two sinkers. Let's see if he comes in hard with a sinker, try to get him hit a little ground ball to second. Backdoor slider.
Just missed. 2 ball, 2 strike count.
Little slider, backdoor slider. That's where you start the ball in the opposite batter's box and try to nip the outside corner of the plate.
And DeShields won't have to worry about that one. Way outside, 3 ball, 2 strike count. DeShields a .342 hitter lifetime off Cone. Has Surhoff on at second base, who had a double. And Webster's drawn a walk on at first. David Cone with a 3-1 lead. Orioles threatening, and he's walked another. So he has walked 3 in this game. Bear in mind, in the opener, he walked 7 in his win against Oakland in 5 1/3 innings. And Mel Stottlemyre is on his way to the mound.
With his clear, he's not comfortable. He's not comfortable with his fastball. That's what I'm seeing. A lot of off-speed pitches. 1 and 2 there to the Shields. Went to a changeup, then another off backdoor slider, then finally has to throw the fastball. 3-2. Here's a fastball. He winds up. Look how he flies open a little bit here. Left side flies open, result leaving the ball up and away.
There's always the question, Ray, about his right shoulder, his throwing shoulder. Circulation problem there that's bothered him on and off over the years. When it feels bad, it's kind of numb and difficult for him to gauge the good release point on his fastball.
Right, find that release point. And it seems to me that he's going. David Cone, although he's a pitcher that throws a lot of different pitches, I've always thought of him as a fastball pitcher. Everything was off the fastball. Tonight, again, of his roughly 50 pitches, about 70% of them have been breaking balls.
Bases loaded, 1 down. Brady Anderson.
As evidence with the first pitch there, slider.
Anderson drew a walk and scored. Big-time hitter against David Cone. B.J. Surhoff on at third. Webster walk second. The Shields walk at first. Infield, double play depth with 1 down. Fastball taken inside by Cone. 1 ball, 1 strike. Baltimore Orioles with a chance to get right back at it here. They get 1 in the first. Zimmer's Yankees responded with 3 in the bottom half of the inning. Now the bases are loaded with only 1 away. Outfield deep straight away. And that one off the fist, shallow right field. O'Neill coming, Surhoff tagging. O'Neill will put it away and no chance to score. Big second out.
Look at how David Cone, even though bases are loaded, works Brady Anderson. Breaking ball for a strike, then comes back, tries to spot inside for a fastball, then comes right back in there and saws him off. And that's when somebody implants something in your mind, the backdoor breaking ball, and you can't get off of it, throws a fastball inside that you think's his best fastball. In your mind, you don't think you're going to have any problem to get it, get the bat barrel there, and then he just tunes it up a couple miles an hour and gets it in on you.
Now Mike Bordick, number 2 hitter, strikeout victim, first time up. The Orioles are now 2 for 16 in this series. 2 games with runners in scoring position. They cannot find the big hit. Didn't last night, haven't so far here. Bordick, who bit on a slider in his first at bat on the strikeout, stays away from that one. 1 ball, 1 strike. Erickson hoping here the Orioles can generate some runs. He's just trying to stay warm over there, keeping the blood flowing. 1-1 delivery. Bordick chases high heat.
This is where he just goes to the elevated fastball, four-seam fastball, a little bit of movement up and in. If he hits that ball, he'll have to hit it foul. The only way to hit that ball up and in solid is get the bat head way out front.
That's what he struck him out on the first time. Went right back to it. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
I'm sorry, Jim.
No, just going to say, Bordick learned on that first at bat. Laid off it.
Off that slider. Let's see if he goes right back to it.
Oh, did he set him up? Bordick was looking for that slider away, and he ate him up on the inside part of the plate. Cone, 2 innings, 60 pitches, just 1 unearned run.
Dave Cone facing Mike Bordick. Bases loaded. Struck him out with a slider away his first time up. Bordick looking away, inside corner slider, starting at his waist, breaking over the inside corner part of the plate, locks him up. He can pitch. And he just gets tougher when the situation gets tougher. I don't know if he just goes to another level of concentration, but you've seen it in all those years that you were with the Mets, and Kansas City, he just seems to pitch out of trouble, a lot like Tommy Glavine.
Yep.
The great pitchers do that.
Yep, they just have that hunger, that juggler. Clay Bellinger's playing at third base. Scott Brocious is out. And that one misses outside. Sprained right ankle is the problem for Brocious. They x-rayed it, negative. Precautionary MRI is going to be taken tomorrow. He's listed as day-to-day, but here's the story. This kid's played 10 full years in the minors, never got to the majors till this year. And he's retired. Let's check in with Trey Wingo. Trey?
Gary, you think power in Kansas City? Who do you think? Joe Randa, Jeff King? Would you believe Carlos Fabulous off Bartolo Colon in the second inning? Gives it a ride. Kenny Lofton playing in. This one off the top of the wall. It bounces around. Tim Spear will score. Fabulous is going to make the turn. His first ever Major League homer inside the park. They lead it 3-2, guys.
One of the game's most exciting plays right there. You got to have a speedster to do it, even in a big ballpark. Inside the park dinger. One down. Nobody on. Joe Girardi batting in the number 9 spot, doing the catching in this game. Numbers for Girardi so far this season. Yankees with a 3-1 lead. Same thing in hits, out hitting the Orioles 3-1. Fouled off. Didn't break the bat on that one, so he'll stay right there with a 2-strike count. The other problem Baltimore's got when you got a pitcher like Scott Erickson starting this game, throwing so many pitches early, their middle relief is highly suspect. They have a real tough time getting to the closer. That one looped down the right field line. It will end up in the seats foul. Girardi comes back with that 2-strike count.
Well, they really do. And talking to Jim Palmer, who announces for the Orioles, he talked about most of the people in the bullpen are retreads. Ricky Bonas, Fetter, Slocum, and Mike Timlin, who is now their closer with the loss of Benitez and Alan Mills.
So they don't want to go there early.
And they've had to go there early, as we talked about earlier tonight. 4 innings average.
This is going to be a tough play at short. Long throw, and Borda got it. Girardi's retired. 2 down here in the second inning. The Yankees, who fell behind 1-0, took care of that lead early.
Yeah, they certainly did. Knobloch, fastball up and away. Not vintage. Erickson lives on that sinker. He gets the fastball up and away early, and that was after a great at bat by Knobloch, seeing 6 pitches.
He got it, his first of the year, and the Yankees added 2 more. Davis and Jeter had the RBIs. 2 down here. Can Erickson have a 1-2-3 inning? Down to third. Ripken will play it foul. This ballpark has had a lot said about it because of all the great history, of course, that's played here. Interesting notes I was reading about Yankee Stadium compared to other ballparks. This park is really a pitcher's park, and one of the best in the American League. Death Valley in left center. Only the Metrodome was a tougher place for right-handers to hit home runs. Yankee Stadium's been noted for a long time as a haven for left-handed hitters. Somewhat true, but not entirely so. If you're going to get it, you got to yank it into that right field corner. Tough park for right-handers to hit home runs. Knobloch found a cure to that. Do what the left-handers do and pull it right down the other line. With the wind blowing out tonight, that's probably where you want to go with it again if you're going to get it up in the air. Erickson with a 1-1 delivery. With breaking ball down and away, 1-2. Left-handers hit 309 off Erickson last year. Right-handers 245. Giving up 1 home run. Knobloch, he gave up 23 last year. Knobloch 1-2-2 away. Erickson couldn't get that one. Knobloch's 2 for 2. Hit number 4 for the Yankees.
Went to a slider. You see Webster sitting up away. Started over the middle of the plate, but nice piece of hitting there by Chuck Knobloch. Ball just a good pitch, but Knobloch very adroit at hitting the ball to right field. Stays down on the ball and drives it right up the middle. Tell you, when you got a guy like Chuck Knobloch or Jeter hitting, you better bust him in with 2 strikes. because they can hit the ball the other way. Knobloch with 2 strikes. It's a home run to right field. There with 2 strikes. Another ground ball up the middle.
Now Jeter. Derek Jeter delivered an RBI double. Jeter is starting out with MVP kind of numbers. 3 home runs, 3 triples, 3 doubles, 9 runs batted in, 29 total bases already to lead the team. Knobloch back. If you were going to start a ball club, Derek Jeter would be one of the players in all of baseball, with the likes of Griffey, Rodriguez, that you'd consider as the #1 pick, I think, for your team.
Oh, I agree with you totally. I mean, he's just 24 years old. He's got 3 full seasons under his belt. And one thing that the coaches say about him, and this is really a great compliment, is usually when a player gets better and he gets older, he tends to lose his work habits a little bit, and he doesn't seem to be quite as good a person, meaning doesn't sign as many autographs, doesn't do as much for other people. Derek Jeter has been just the opposite. The better he gets, the better person he becomes. He gives more time to the community. He's very humble, and that's something that the coaching staff was talking about tonight. And he continues his hard work ethic, so he's going to be a truly great player.
Taken down low, 2-0 count. Erickson falls behind on Jeter. 5th in batting average last year, .324. Already a career .308 average. He's got a slugging percentage over 1,000. To start the first week of the baseball season out with all those extra base hits. That's why Erickson is being very careful. Knobloch off first is running. Jeter, he's got a base hit up the middle. Knobloch, he'll head to third and be there easily. Jeter's 2 for 2. The Shields was coming over to cover second. Almost had a chance on that ball.
But I love this play. Hit and run. Don Zimmer going back to what he was taught in the Dodger organization. Great piece of hitting there. Pulling his hands in, Jeter, to keep the ball to the right side, not rolling the ball over to hit it to the shortstop with the second baseman covering. And just vintage National League type baseball that has rolled over to the American League with exchange of players. There's really no difference in the 2 leagues in my mind anymore, except for that DH.
That DH. First and third, 2 down. Fouled off by Paul O'Neill, who drew a walk and scored in the first inning. O'Neill, one of the game's outstanding clutch hitters. He had the 9th best average with runners in scoring position last year in the league, as he hit .335 in those situations. He needs 3 RBIs to reach the 1,000 mark. That one is taken down low. If he could drill one into the seats, he could be that 1,000th run batted in. I just have such respect for this guy as a player. Quiet, consummate professional. Epitomizes the way the Yankees played last year. As a leader by example, day in, day out, season after season. 1-1. Inside outs, that one. 1 and 2.
Well, he's a guy that's never satisfied, and that is one thing that you, knowing Joe Torre the way that I do, and Don Zimmer the way that I do, and Mel Stottlemyre, the coaches, Willie Randolph, you see him fight off that ball inside, Chris Chambliss. In my mind, this is the best coaching staff in baseball. You have everybody that reflects everyone else, all hardworking, all almost perfectionists, all people, they're quiet but yet communicative. Not loud type people. Zim being the only gregarious one of the bunch. Gregarious run of the bunch.
He is that.
And then the club reflects that personality. O'Neill, Martinez, just quiet, confident.
Erickson, the 2-2 runner, going at first, swung on and missed. He got the K. So Erickson with a couple of strikeouts, no runs, 2 hits, 2 left on. Will Clark, Bell, and Baines coming up when we come back. Stadium, Gary Thorne, Ray Knight, and our crew, ESPN's Wednesday Night Baseball. Houston and the Giants, second half of our doubleheader tonight. Here the Yankees have the 3-1 lead. Will Clark leads it off. Clark reached on an error his first time up, from the ball that Bernie Williams struggled with in center field. Big time numbers to start the season. David Cone has walked 3, struck out 2, and thrown a ton of pitches. got some of the most unbelievable numbers since coming over to the New York Yankees as a pitcher. 29-7 at Yankee Stadium. And overall, since joining the Yankees, 85 game starts. He is 49-17, including that 29-7 here. That's unbelievable. He's supposed to be coming over here to finish up a career. Started one all over again.
Yeah, ignited it, didn't he?
2-ball, 2-strike count. See if he can settle in here and stop surrendering the walks. It got him in trouble in the first 2 innings. Baltimore's already left 4, including the bases loaded in the second. 2-2 delivery to Will Clark. Breaking ball, foul back.
Well, as you mentioned, all the pitches that he's thrown all the way, Dave Cohn, thus far, 65 pitches. It just seems like to me when he's pitching, he does not want to get a 1-pitch out.
That one deep. Spencer back, reaching up, can't get it. Ball goes behind him. Will Clark goes to second. He'll stop there in the relay throw into Derek Jeter. So they continue to pick up the hits. Third straight leadoff man on these 3 innings. The double for Will Clark.
Well, when you see 5 or 6 pitches in at bat, you're going to get hits. The fastball down and away, a pretty good pitch, but again, David Cohn showing most of the pitches away to left-handed hitters, and much like B.J. Surhoff, Will Clark, who's been known to go that way with some authority, drives the ball off the wall. But David's yet to really bore that fastball in, and let's watch and see if a little later in the game if he starts going in after establishing the ball away.
Bell fouls the pitch off. Oh, here's a chance for their big man to pick up the RBI. He got 1 on a ground ball out in the first inning. Albert Bell now with 6 runs batted in on the year. And Bell, with runners in scoring position early on, is 3 for 9. 1 home run in those situations. Stoney takes a little too long, and Bell will back out. Orioles, this has been their problem so far in this 2-game set, the big hit. They haven't gotten one yet in this game. Bell taken away. Nice stop made by Girardi, going out to get it. 1 ball, 1 strike.
This is one of those drop-down sliders, and he drops down, the ball just keeps on going. Joe Girardi, great play there, almost turning his mitt inside out, making a stop on that ball.
Not holding the runner at second base. Will Clark not a threat to go anywhere. Long swing, fouled off. Albert Bell has a huge, long cut, does he not?
He does, but he has the ability somehow to get the bat on the ball. It is a long swing. Watch right here how he starts it, and he got that loop, but he's able to bring his hands, and he's so doggone strong that it's just hard to throw the ball by him. But watch how he sets up here. He'll just kind of set his knee up a little bit on the front side, sink on his back side, and just throw that head. He's a devastating breaking ball hitter. Really good breaking ball hitter.
Hit a lot of his home runs off breaking balls last year. He was second in home runs, doubles, and RBIs in the American League with the Chicago White Sox. 49 homers. See that kind of odd stance where he just winds up to drive the baseball. 2 ball, 2 strike count on him.
Well, he's a .296 career hitter with 321 home runs. And one reason he's such a good hitter, he does not try to hit the fastball to left center field. He hits off the fastball to right center, stays inside the ball. Very difficult to get him out in the inside part of the plate. And then when the ball gets out there away from him, he extends those big arms and puts a charge in there.
That one towards short. Jeter will hold Clark. Bell is retired. And Orioles are 0 for 8 with runners in scoring position.
We're going to look at the pitch sequence here. David Combs comes and he goes with a fastball up. Mostly fastballs with this hitter. Then slider way away. Comes right back with another fastball almost in the same spot. then a slider, then comes back with another fastball, then comes back with a changeup. That whole sequence was to get him on the fastball, try to see where his bat barrel is, work off the bat barrel, and then threw a changeup and got him out in front.
Towards first, big-time stop, Tino Martinez. Errol Baines, designated hitter, retired. Yes, the Yankees do that well, too. They were the last team this year to commit an error. Clark goes over to third, and no error there on Martinez at first base.
Tino doesn't get enough credit for his defense. He talks so much about O'Neill and Wright and shortstop Jeter, but he just makes all the plays. He's not flashy, just makes all the plays, catches everything, comes over there.
Well, David Cohn, 2 down, chance to get out of the inning with Will Clark over at third base. 2 down. B.J. Surhoff had a double his first time up. He has 1 RBI on the year. Pitch is taken inside for a ball. Surhoff now 9 for 28 off David Cohn in his career. Back on the infield with 2 down. Get a little off that pitch at the outside corner with it. 1 ball, 1 strike. Surhoff didn't think so.
Well, let's start watching the velocity here in our jugs gun. I have not seen 2 consecutive velocities the same yet tonight. Seen it from 75 to 90.
And that's going to fall in for a base hit. So that will break the over. With runners in scoring position, the Orioles get a big 2-out hit from Surhoff and cut the Yankee lead to 1, 3-2.
Well, that was an 83-mile-an-hour, I guess, fastball. He's been averaging about 88 on his fastball, but looks like he took a little bit off of his fastball and got it up. And that's just a BP pitch there. When you only throw it 83 miles an hour up around somebody's chest, the ball's going to come back at you pretty hard.
And David Cohn now will face Ripken. DJ Surhoff, the RBI. That's his second of the year. He's at first base. Ripken popped out his first time up. And by the way, Cal has been charged with an error on that Chili Davis ground ball in the first inning. They have changed the ruling. So an error to Ripken, no RBI for Davis.
That guy never played third base.
I'm sure that's true. And that one is fouled back. So the Orioles now have been charged with 2 errors in the game.
See, Gary, just in this at bat, 88 miles an hour first pitch, 90 mile an hour to second pitch, both fastballs. Let's just see where he goes here. Must be starting to get a little more comfortable with his rhythm out there because he's gone to predominantly fastball.
2-strike count on Ripken. Gets a chopper to third base. Bellinger will go to second. Knobloch there. 1 run, couple of hits, 1 left on. Cone gives up 1, but the Yankees still have the lead. At 3-2, want to remind you the 2-day coverage starting Saturday of the 1999 NFL Draft will be from Madison Square Garden. Saturday, ESPN will have coverage noon to 7, and then the Deuce will pick it up from 7 until the end of the 3rd round. Pick up ESPN the magazine. Lots of news and notes on where the draft may go. And you can get a lot more information by logging on ESPN.com, part of the Go Network, go.com. Bernie Williams. And the pitch is taken up high. Scott Erickson, a walk, 2 strikeouts. 31-year-old right-hander, 0-1. Second start of the year. Predominant ground ball pitcher, and I do mean predominant. Fly balls are coming off the pitches given by Scott Erickson, and he is having a really bad night. He threw more ground ball pitches last year than anyone else in the American League. 1 ball, 1 strike count. 3 runs in the first inning for the Yankees. 2 of those runs earned as a result of the second error charged in the inning. 1 unearned run. Baltimore has come back to get a couple and make it a 1-run ball game. 2-ball, 1-strike count on Williams. Straight up the middle, folks. Anderson will play it back in. Williams is on with a leadoff single in the third. 5 hits for the Yankees.
Well, you mentioned the ball being down. Look at this pitch here. Right, belt high, bullet, duck. That's the kind of ball that's going to hurt somebody one of these days. But again, you mentioned that sinker, predominant ground ball pitcher, has to get the ball starting just above knee high, sinking down about the shins. Anything above that flattens out.
Bernie Williams with the lead at first. Erickson does not like to take care of base runners. 28 stolen bases against him last year was the second high in the league. You can get a good lead, and you can run on him. He doesn't hold you close, and he's relatively slow to the plate.
And you know, that might be one of the reasons why he likes Lenny Webster. Lenny Webster has been in his career basically a backup catcher. You take a guy like Charlie Johnson working with Rene Latchman and Jim Leland, both catchers. They like to call step-offs, pitch-outs, slide steps, and Lenny Webster doesn't do that, so Erickson can go about doing what he wants to do.
1-0 delivery way up high, and the count goes to 2 balls and no strikes. What that all comes down to, Ray, is it puts a bigger onus on the catcher.
The catcher's got no chance with Scott Erickson. He puts runners on and he tries to throw a ground ball double play. He is not worried about, as you mentioned, people running on him. He believes he has good enough stuff. There's a lot of pitchers. I know when Mark Portugal came over to the Reds ball club and we were going through what we call directives, which are stepping off and slide stepping, holding the ball. He didn't want to do any of those things because he just wanted to concentrate on the hitter.
Erickson is the same. 2-0. Williams not going here. Pitch in for a strike. Tino Martinez, 2-ball, 1-strike count. Martinez looking down to third base. See whether or not they might be running here. Bernie Williams, 15 stolen bases last year. Martinez hit into a double play his first time up. Erickson. The foul ball back. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
But in defense of managers and, you know, former catchers, they know how important it is in situations to hold runners close. And it's not that a manager is going to demand of Erickson or Mark Portugal or anybody else time after time after time to slide step or hold somebody close. But they need to be able to do that in critical situations.
2-ball, 2-strike count. Williams not running, and the count is full, 3-2.
Well, he'll be going here.
Nobody out. Yankees lead at 3-2. Tino Martinez, good contact hitter. Orioles looking for the double play if they can get that ground ball. Bernie Williams goes. Martinez, strike 3 call, throw down, got him. Strike him out, throw him out, double play. Lenny Webster with a toss down. And just like that, 2 down.
Well, you depend on the hitter making contact here because you're really not trying to steal the base. And this is just I don't know about that. We always get to see it on the replay, but Bernie Williams didn't believe it. A great throw by Lenny Webster right there, but it looked like to me as he tagged him right behind the knee. Great throw. Let's look at the tag again right here. There he is. He's got a lot better look at it than I do, but hey, he's out of there, right?
He's gone.
He's gone. He's right.
He didn't think so either. So Lenny Webster throw him out. So the bases are empty, 2 down. Chili Davis up. Davis had an RBI taken away from him as the infield single off the glove of Ripken became an error.
Well, you'll be shocked at how many times you see the umpires right on the bases. I used to go in and look at video all the time on plays that I thought were called against me or not in my favor. And, I mean, it was uncanny. I'm talking about 95, 97, I mean, a high percentage of the times they were right on the bases in judgment calls. Now, the strike zone's a little different story.
Yeah.
But these guys are unbelievable in their ability to see those things in a split second.
Ken Kaiser, the umpire, foul back. I was just looking, Ray, on Lenny Webster. Last year, he threw out only 20% of the base stealers. The only catcher with a worse mark was Chris Hoyle.
His teammate.
His teammate who was released this year. But he sure didn't look like it on that throw. That was right on the money. 2 balls, 2 strike count. Erickson trying to get out of the inning right here. Again inside with it. And he goes full again, 3-2.
Well, you mentioned Chris Hoyle's released by the Orioles to a tune of Mr. Angelos having to eat about $3.7 million. There's a lot of guys out there that lose their jobs but get paid right on.
That one inside, and these 2 pitchers continue to struggle. 2-out walk. Let's check in with Trey again. Trey Wingo.
Well, Gary, some fielding miscues in your game. How about this one? Manny Ibar, the pitcher for the Cardinals, at the plate. Ed Sprague of the Pirates with a very un-Ray Knight-like throw, getting away from Kevin Young, allowing 2 runs to score. Big Mac 0 for 4, but the Cards up 8-5. He never did that, did he, Gary?
Never. I watched him play, Trey. When he made those kind of throws, they were belt high on a line.
Thank you very much.
Quite all right. Who's the hardest throwing third baseman you've ever seen throwing to first?
Ken Caminiti.
Harder than Howard Johnson?
More accurate than Howard Johnson.
More accurate. Okay, that's fair.
But Hojo was right there. You know, I keep thinking of Caminiti because he just lets it fly and he's got that four-seamer, but Hojo had a great arm.
See guys like that, first baseman kind of cringe. Here is Spencer, struck out his first time up. Chili Davis on at first base, second walk given up by Scott Erickson. Slider missed and an 0-2 count on Spencer. Yankees 3 runs, 5 hits. Orioles 2 runs, 3 hits, 2 errors. David Cone, he, like Scott Erickson, had a lot of time between innings because both these guys have thrown so many pitches. They've spent a lot of time watching the other one. Outside, Webster able to block it, keep it in front of him, and the count goes to a ball and 2 strikes.
Lenny Webster right there. Sinker, slider actually down and away, and see that ball make a reverse spin back. You get that rotation on a hard breaking ball, and it has almost inverted, not inverted, but actually kicks back the opposite way.
Inverted. Here's the 1-2. Grounded towards third. Ripken will go to second for the force. They get it, and that'll do it. No runs, a base hit, 1 left on. We have now had a combined 140 pitches thrown in this game. It's about last year still going on for New York Yankee fans. They've got the lead here.
Well, Scott Erickson loves Lenny Webster. He goes down, talks to him, tells him, you know, congratulations on blocking the ball, and then they do this a lot. They confer, and this just shows you why Erickson prefers Webster catching. He feels really comfortable with him. They communicate well together, and smart managers usually allow that to happen because if that pitcher's not comfortable, you're in big trouble.
Better results. Here is Webster at the plate. Lenny Webster takes the pitch away from David Cone. Ball 1, 3-2 lead, 4th inning. 3-5-1 for the Yankees, 2-3-2 for the Orioles. Webster moving back, 2-0 count. David Cone will come inside. He hit 15 batters last year.
Look how far Lenny's off the plate. That's the thing that amazes me. That ball would have hit any other hitter, but Lenny's about 3 feet off the plate. There's no way that Lenny can cover the outside third of the plate unless he's really diving to hit the ball over second base. You just don't have that much reach. And David Cone hasn't even been close.
No. 3-0 count. Taking all the way. Fastball grooved in there, 3-1. 3 walks, 2 strikeouts. At least one runner on every inning for Baltimore. 5 left on base for the Orioles. Towering fly ball left center. Spencer and Williams. Spencer. Webster's retired. One away in the 4th.
For the last 6 pitches, 83 miles per hour, 88, 90, 84, 88, 87. Yet to throw a pitch the same speed to a hitter the last 3 hitters that I've monitored. And that's why he's so effective.
Delino DeShields taking over at second base, of course, for Roberto Alomar. DeShields with the St. Louis Cardinals last year. Alomar going to the Indians, playing with his brother, Sandy Alomar, the catcher, fouled off. Shields has had a fine career. Good hitter. I don't know if you chose between, I mean, if you were just looking and wanted DeShields or Alomar for your team.
I think Robbie's so much better defensively day in and day out. I think offensively, Delino can do a lot of things. Robbie a little better, more consistent switch hitter, a little more consistent with his average day-to-day. But Delino, I tell you what, he put together a couple of really good years, hitting 295, 290 back-to-back with the Cardinals, and scored right at 90 runs. One year he had 25 doubles, 14 triples, and 12 home runs. So he's a pretty good offensive player.
Jeter waves everybody off, pulls it in. DeShields is retired. 2 down in the 4th inning. Sunday Night Baseball coming up this Sunday, 8 o'clock Eastern Time. Seattle Mariners will take on the Angels in Anaheim. Ken Griffey Jr., Tim Salmon, both off to fast starts. Sunday Night Baseball's 10th season. This Sunday, the Mariners and the Angels. Here there are 2 down. And Brady Anderson, the leadoff batter, has flied out and drawn a walk. We've not had a 1-2-3 inning in this game. Erickson had a chance with 2 down. Now Cone gets the opportunity in this inning with 2 away and nobody on. 0-1 the count. Anderson scored in the 1st on a ground ball by Bell. The other run came in the 3rd inning for the Orioles on a Clark leadoff double and a Surhoff single. Fans wanting the K. Cone has 2 of them. Off his glove and into center field for a base hit. David Cone came back to try and play that, falling the other way in his follow-through. So Anderson's on with 2 down, and we'll check in with Trey Wingo. Trey.
Well, Gary, 3 runs never enough to really beat the Indians. They continue to pound the ball. They lead the American League in RBIs, and Jim Thome with that great swing sends it up the middle. Robbie Alomar scores. This game tied at 3 in the 6th. Gary and Ray, back to you.
Trey, thanks very much. Cleveland's off to a great 6-1 start. Yankees, Red Sox, Cleveland. All are 6-1 coming into today's play. Ward to Cup. He's 0 for 2, has struck out twice. The 2 Ks David Cone have been against Mike Bordick.
Both on sliders, 1 away, 1 taking on the inside part.
That jammed again, center field. Williams. No runs, a base hit, and 1 left on. Cone faces only 4. New York Yankees, who last year won 62 games at home and lost 19. 4-0 at home so far, and they got a lead here 3-2. Yankee fans have had a lot to cheer about here over a lot of years, and Don Zimmer is one of them. Don Zimmer went on the David Letterman show last night, and based on his appearance, Letterman will probably have him back about every night, and Zimmer will come. We're going to show you an outtake from that show here when we have a chance. Monday night, Zimmer was there, but he is one funny man. Don Zimmer. Clay Bellinger up. Grounded out his first time up. Told you what a great story. Zimmer's son drafted Clay Bellinger. 10 years in the minors, 1,067 minor league games, and never appeared in the majors till this year. Fly ball will come down someday, and Surhoff has got it. Don Zimmer, star of stage, screen, and television.
You are the manager. You run it the way you want. I said, good, good, that's nice. Well, we leave that day for California, and I announced Mendoza pitching Wednesday.
Right.
4 hours later, somebody tells me out of New York that George wants Arabu to pitch Wednesday. Now, how long did that last of me running the team?
And now Derek Jeter is all over Don Zimmer, calling him Hollywood. Came over before the game, took his hat off and rubbed his head and hollered at him so everyone could hear, "Hey, Hollywood." Zimmer had just said to us while we were talking with him, "Wait a minute, there's Jeter coming. You watch, he's going to call me Hollywood." Within 2 seconds, Jeter had yelled it out at him, came over, took his cap off, and rubbed his head. He also said when the makeup girl came to get him before he went on, they said, "Mr. Zimmer, you come with us, we've got to put makeup on." He said, "Are you kidding me? You're going to put makeup on this face?" 1-2 pitch is down and away. Jim said if she can put makeup on this face, she ought to get a bonus. And Jeter's not going to let him hear the end of it, believe me. So Zimmer's a star again. 2-ball, 2-strike count on Girardi. Rasmussen doesn't mind coming inside. Remembers David Cohn did a little of that in the last inning.
Well, this is just a fastball that gets away there, four-seam fastball. Doesn't throw that very much. Throws that sinker. When you don't throw it a lot, you can't control it.
Girardi grounded out his first time up and goes down on strikes. His second time up. 4 strikeouts for Erickson. Let's check in again with Trey Wingo. Trey.
Gary, remember I said 3 runs wouldn't be enough to beat the Tribe? I wasn't kidding. In the 6th inning, Richie Sexton sends this one all the way to the wall. It'll bound off the top of it, his second hit of the night. That'll bring in Tomei and Travis Fryman to make it 6-3. But wait, hang on, there's more. Roberto Alomar has already scored. Sandy Alomar has now homered. They put a 6th spot up in the 6th. They now lead at 8-3, going for 7 straight. They can hit.
They and the Yankees heavily favored in the American League. Be the top 2 clubs. Erickson gets the strike, 2 down, nobody on. Knobloch is singled and homered in this game. First home run of the season in the first inning. He is now 11 for 25 lifetime off Erickson. Oh, 1 delivery is a chopper. He caught a piece of his foot coming out of the box that time. 2 strikes.
That Cleveland club is really solid, but one thing that they can't do is match up with the Yankees starting pitching. There's David Cohn stretching. He ought to be loose.
Getting a little cooler as the night goes on here. Yeah, he's thrown enough. 2-strike count with 2 down. And a grounder up the middle, base hit. Knobloch, 3 for 3. 2-out single in the 4th.
And all 3 base hits have been on pitches away. Here's another breaking ball outside part of the plate. Said earlier, you're not going to get Chuck Knobloch by throwing him a steady diet of pitches away. He hits the ball too good to right field, waits on the ball so well. When he gets in trouble is when he's trying to pull off the ball. Came in hitting 174. That is going to change after a little 3 for 3 night.
Early in the year, it doesn't take many couple of hits. Your average
he's probably
skyrockets. Yeah. Jeter, double and a single, RBI and a run scored. He's now 7 for 24 lifetime off Scott Erickson, whose pitch is outside for a ball. Well, the Yankees with 6 hits in the ball game off Erickson. And Jeter will have to wait as Webster wants to go out and have a word with his starter. This is about a 5 hot dog game so far.
Easy.
Yeah, easy.
When are we going to get that first one?
It's coming right now. I just sent for it. We're talking about the Indians, right? Who can possibly even come close to them in the Central Division? Kansas City, Minnesota, Chicago, and Detroit. Are you kidding?
Oh, there's nobody in that division. And
Peter Pasquarelli passed a note and said their magic number in the division is now 3. Runner goes, and no throw, no chance. He may be your favorite catcher, but you don't do much for him when you don't even look over. Stolen base.
And I, too, think that with the 3-2 pitch a while ago when Bernie Williams got thrown out, Bernie was just starting. I mean, it's not really stealing the base. It's just getting yourself started on 3-2 count and making your hitter make contact. There, Knobloch, great jump.
Jeter's got an RBI chance now. That's what that steal does. And Knobloch is 2 for 2. With runners in scoring position. Does he have a few extra base hits?
Look at that slugging percentage, 1.185. 3 triples, 3 doubles, 3 home runs.
That's what he's got. And a 3-0 count with 2 down. And he's on with a walk. So Erickson, who retired the first 2, surrenders the 3rd walk, putting Jeter at first with Knobloch ahead of him at second base.
This ball club can put together big 2-out rallies. Once you get back to the top of that batting order and with the patience that they have, before you know it, you have 2 outs and bases loaded because they're not going to swing at bad balls. I mean, every spot in the batting order has a patient hitter that makes you throw strikes.
And this guy will. 2 down, Paul O'Neill. Down low, ball to O'Neill. O'Neill comes into this season with a career .290 batting average, up at last year hitting .317. Bruce Keeson is the pitching coach for the Baltimore Orioles. For the first time, Ricky Bonas hasn't started to throw yet. He is, however, doing his daily yoga exercises in preparation. David Cohn continues. Both of these guys opening up health clubs here in the greater New York area shortly. Maybe stiffening up in his back a little bit the way Coney's continue to do those kind of bends. That's usually if your lower back is hurting you.
Well, your legs are the biggest part of pitching. All your great pitchers have extremely strong thighs and buttock muscles. Just a lot of work with those upper legs, and they tend to get tight. The hamstrings tighten up, and you do a lot of stretching to keep those loose, especially on a cold night.
He does it again. Base hit by O'Neill. Chuck Knobloch will score. Cut off by Anderson. Another RBI. Paul O'Neill, and the Yankees have a 4-2 lead. There's your 2-out rally, Ray. 998th career RBI for O'Neill.
Again, fastball, middle away, drives it the opposite way and just drills it out there in the gap. You see why these Yankee hitters are so sodden. This lineup is so tough to pitch to. They do not try to pull the ball. They generally pull breaking balls, hit the fastball the opposite way, and that's why they see so many pitches. They don't commit themselves early.
In the middle of that order. Fouled off by Williams. The Yankees had 7 hits.
And truly, when you get to talking about Mark McGwire, that's one thing that really amazes me about how many times he walks and how he pulls the ball. You know, and you talk about how quick his swing is. You look at the 1, 2, 3 hitters tonight, that is pretty amazing.
A new murderer's row. Bernie Williams has a single and reached on an error. Runners at first and third, and he's got a gapper. That will score. Jeter all the way to the wall. Anderson back to get it. Paul O'Neill the turn. He'll come home. Williams for a triple. He's got it.
This guy can fly. Look at this ball here. Watch how he just kind of starts off loping and then just turns it on. Why, he's going to be the MVP of this league, or a candidate for the MVP for this league for years to come. He can do everything: Gold Glove winner, power, runs, throws. And like you said, Gary, you better not have a sigh of relief when you get 2 outs in this Yankee ball club.
Bernie Williams on at third base. Yankees have a 6-2 lead. Williams' first triple of the year. Now has 5 RBIs for Bernie Williams. This all coming with 2 down. Tino Martinez has struck out, hit into a double play. Actually, 2 double plays he's been involved in, and he got hit on that one. Brushed him. Webster's arguing, but Scott Erickson hits Martinez. Ray Miller's on his way out, and that will do it for Scott Erickson.
I don't know if he's going to...
Oh, he's going to argue. I'm sorry. He came out to argue, not to talk to Erickson. Ray Miller wants the home plate umpire, Terry Kraft, to ask for help on that and talk to Jim Joyce at third. There's Joyce. And Joyce is calling Kraft over to talk with him. Home plate umpire Terry Kraft made the call without asking for any help.
You don't see them change too often. Here we're going to see the replay. Fastball up and in. Tino stand on the ball. The ball got the bat.
Foul ball.
Clearly got the bat. I mean, that first thing got the bat. Yep, clearly got the bat. But if you don't see it clearly, the base umpires cannot overrule you. And Jim Joyce,
down at third, is the one who came in to help.
And Kraft kind of blinded by the play with Tino moving toward the ball. But that's a little bit of Bruce Keeson there. 2 pitches up and in this inning. Bruce Keeson, the pitching coach for the Pirates, was known to run a few fastballs in on people.
So another break. There's Keeson on the phone. The Yankees won the ball game last night. Bullpen action now. When a ball hit the bag at third to open up an inning. Now they keep this inning alive with Martinez said to be hit by a pitch when it actually went off his bat. Chili Davis with runners at first and third. Davis has reached on an error, drawn a walk. Bernie Williams a triple, 2 RBIs. He's still at third base, and Martinez at first. Erickson's had 14 base runners against him already in this game. And he falls behind 3 balls and no strikes on Davis. Erickson's about gone.
Well, I think you give Chili the green light, 3-0, but he's the type of hitter that he's going to zero and keyhole you.
He thought he had the walk. Terry Kraft didn't agree. 3-1.
Here's the call Erickson finally gets. Fastball running away. Maybe nipping the front corner of that plate as it moved outside.
Home getting some more support. 4-run lead now. Davis swings and fouls it off. 3-ball, 2-strike count. So Erickson trying to work his way out of it right here. It has been a tough night for him. Bernie Williams, third base. Tino Martinez over at first. RBI opportunity here with 2 down. First 2 outs, the Knobloch single, Stoll second, Jeter walk, O'Neill a single, and Williams a triple, and then they hit batter. Runner goes at first. That's a base hit down the line for Davis. Williams will score. Since he was running, Martinez will come around. No relay. 2 RBI double for Chili Davis. 8-2 Yankees. This time it will be in for Scott Erickson. And the Yankees pounding away 8 runs on 9 hits. Ricky Bonas will be coming out of the bullpen, and Erickson, who lost his first start, could lose this one. Another 2-out hit, driving in 2 with a double to give the Yankees the 8-2 lead.
Well, another great hitting clinic. Fastball off the plate away. You remember the pitch called a strikeout there. All four of the hits in this inning have been opposite field hits. Now we have Ricky Bonas, well-traveled Ricky Bonas, started with the Milwaukee Brewers, several stints with other clubs, including one with me in Cincinnati. Straight over the top fastball, big curveball, straight changeup.
Played with Kansas City last year. Part of the inning, Derek Jeter, Dino Martinez. Martinez, of course, reached when he said he was hit by a pitch, and the ball actually came off his bat. Ninth batter up in the inning. Shane Spencer's hit into a fielder's choice, struck out. The Yankees have scored 5 runs, a 5-run, 2-out rally. Paul O'Neill with an RBI single, part of this inning. And an 8-2 lead. 29-year-old right-handed. Runner at second, 2 down. Bonas delivers, Spencer misses. Scott Erickson in 2 starts now has gone 10 2/3 innings and given up 12 earned runs with a 10+ earned run average in his first 2 starts. 0-1 delivery by Bonas. Same pitch, same result, strike 2. Erickson goes 3 2/3 in this game so far, charged with 8 runs on 9 hits, 3 walks and 4 strikeouts, 1 unearned run. Bonas comes on, face the Yankees, as we mentioned earlier, a bullpen that Baltimore not very confident with as far as the middle part of it is concerned. Bonas' 4th game already, 3 2/3 inning with a run on 3 hits. Oh, 2 delivery in the dirt. Good stop by Webster. Davis on at second base. This Yankee team, this is really the way they're going to play this year. This is going to be a very scary year for the rest of the American League.
Oh, boy, Gary, it is. We saw this all last year, and about mid-season we were saying, hey, are these guys this good? And it just kept right on. They mowed everyone down.
Bonas comes on and gets the strikeout, but 9 come to the plate. The Yankees come up with 5 runs and lead it 8-2. It's something I really worry about for this game I love. The have and the have-not separation is becoming enormous. I mentioned it last week, and it's happening again. I mean, these teams, like the Yankees and like the Indians, playing teams like Kansas City, probably the White Sox, I mean a lot of clubs, just aren't very good compared to the best in the game. I'm afraid there are going to be some real uninteresting routes in Major League Baseball. Swung on and missed, as the Orioles, not supposed to be one of those teams to be routed. They went out and opened that checkbook and got players. Will Clark's one of them. They're pitching early on here, and it is very early, not holding up. Clark delivered a double and scored in the 3rd inning. And the breaking ball is down low. He's also reached on an error. He's hit successfully in all 8 games as a member of the Orioles.
Well, when you look at the single acquisitions of these players, and you look at the Shields for Alomar, as we discussed, you know, that goes to Alomar, but the Shields is a good player. Certainly Albert Bell for Eric Davis, although Davis had that huge year. You would take Albert Bell, no question about it. Palmeiro and Clark, as he punches out, that comparison there, because of Palmeiro's power, probably is the biggest discrepancy. Although Will Clark is a solid player, he's just getting older. But then you add Charles Johnson, who, other than Ivan Rodriguez, there's nobody in the game that does a better job calling the game and doing what a catcher's supposed to do instead of Chris Hoyles. They've added quality, very quality players. It's just, as you mentioned, their pitching staff has not pitched well. Only Mussina. The relievers are averaging 4 innings per game. That's going to go up tonight. So
they're a better team than what they're playing, obviously, right now. Baltimore Orioles, 2-5. Albert Bell, RBI and a ground ball out. He's grounded out twice. David Cone, 3 strikeouts in the game. Gets the strike on the outside corner to Bell, 1-1. You do wonder, even though publicly Peter Angelos, the owner of the Baltimore Orioles, has made a commitment to Ray Miller as manager, if this club stumbles for a 2 or 3 week period at the start of this year, will there be a change? Check swing 1 and 2.
Well, you could probably bet there will be, but there's a lot of things that have not been fair to Ray Miller. He comes there, very popular Davey Johnson manager, a lot of situations not under his control. The Eric Davis article or the Eric Davis book really hurt his feelings badly. A lot of things Eric said that were according to Ray, not true, based upon treating people, and he thought that Eric was in his corner. I had the same problem with when Eric left Cincinnati. He thought that I got rid of him, and it had nothing to do with me. So, you know, a lot of times these players say things, and it has a big effect on the manager.
Bell fouls it back, holds the count, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
I know Ray Miller to be a very straightforward, honest man that gives you everything he has, knows pitching extremely well. And, you know, he said, heck, a guy like Cal Ripken deserves a little bit extra. So do the rest of these guys when they earn it. But that's from the old school. That's the Earl Weaver school. You can't. People talk about how Cal staying in a different hotel than the team, and just too many people worrying about too many other things instead of baseball.
Yes, missed outside with that. 3 ball, 2 strike count. Now you've got Erickson and his manager and the squabble in the press about whether or not he was treated properly in spring training with a number of innings thrown. That's sizzling on the back burner right now for the Orioles. Be interesting to see what's said tomorrow by Erickson, if anything. Foul back by Bell, 3-2 count. Doesn't help. You start out here against the Yankees. An 11-day road trip in your first month. It's not an easy start for Baltimore, but hey, this is who you're supposed to be competing with.
Well, if you're not getting enough work in spring training, mentioned before, they have B games that you can throw in. You can go down and throw against a AAA club. You can go and throw on the side. There's not any real reason why you can't throw enough.
Towering pop-up behind second base. Jeter. There are 2 down here in the 5th inning. Let's check in with Trey Wingo. Trey.
Gary, you were talking about blowouts. I believe the Brewers Expos game qualifies, thanks in a large part to Chris Widger. 3 for 4, 2 homers, 6 RBIs. I'll go out on a limb and say that 4-game losing streak in Montreal is over. They're up 15-1 in the bottom of the 8th. Gary, Ray.
Ooh.
You're way out there on that limb.
Whoa. Whoa. 15. 2 down. David Cone. Baines, left center, hauled in by Spencer, and David Cone has a 1-2-3 inning and protects the Yankee 8-2 lead. Clemens tomorrow. Mike Mussina scheduled to go as 2-0. The 2 wins for the Orioles. Clemens 1-0 in the 2 starts and a 1.93 earned run average for the Rocket. We go to the bottom half of the 5th inning. Still plenty of time in this game. The question is it for the Orioles to get back or the Yankees just to run it up? Bellinger started the last inning by flying out. Erickson got the first 2 outs, and then came the rally. 5 runs, 4 hits for the Yankees with 2 down. Clay Bellinger grounded out, flied out, 0 for 2. Yankees up 8-2. Bonus's delivery is swung on and missed. 0-2. Came on and faced 1 hitter. He got the strikeout. And this is 5th appearance for the Orioles. Bonus, 29-year-old right-hander. Middle relief to try and hold this ball game at 8-2 and give his team a chance to get back in. Swung on and missed. Tag will be put on. And that is the 2nd strikeout of 2 batters.
Well, the last inning we talked about the Yankees hitting the ball the opposite way, getting a good ball to hit. Chuck Knobloch goes up the middle. I consider that the opposite way any time you knock the pitcher off the mound. Then Paul O'Neill right over shortstop. And then right behind him, Bernie Williams smokes the ball in left center field for a triple. And then Chili Davis right down the left field line. That sinker not sinking. When it does sink, the only offensive way to hit it is the opposite way. And that's what the Yankees did. And do it as well as anybody.
Take it to any field, any time, and make you hurt. Joe Girardi. 1 down. Baseball being thrown out here. Girardi's grounded out, called out on strikes. One away, nobody on. Ronas comes out of the stretch. And the pitch misses outside for ball one. Hideki Arabu is working out of the bullpen for the time being. The Yankees, because of their schedule, Don Zimmer said, we really don't need 5 starters. And Arabu's been in the doghouse anyway. So Arabu's getting work as a reliever. He has quieted down and not said anything negative about that, though, after he really got in the doghouse with a bad spring. Stuff being thrown on the field is the problem here. Wouldn't you know it would be Albert Bell. I don't mean that negatively towards him, but he attracts that kind of attention in other ballparks. And here in right field in Yankee Stadium, stuff's been thrown out there here in this half inning. I'm not going to turn around and look behind him. David Cohn's thrown a lot of pitches, has the 8-2 lead. Ray, he's probably ready to come out of there.
Yeah, he's at 106 pitches. I thought they might give him one more inning. I don't know how long it takes Arabu to get loose. He's out there just kind of long tossing, but it looked like he's calling. Well, no, he picks up his glove. I thought he might be going down and calling it a night. But
he's had a long time there between innings as well. Effective, if not economical.
Right, a lot of pitches. Still able to pitch out of jams when he had to.
Girardi fouls it off. That'll take the count full. 3 balls and 2 strikes and Joe Girardi. 34-year-old veteran catcher. He's had a very fine .272 career batting average. Jorge Posada, of course, is the Yankee catcher for now and the future. Front line. This kid's going to be a real star based on how he's playing right now. But Girardi is a great guy to have around, available to do the catching behind him. That short Bordick will make the running throw. That will retire Girardi. 2 down here in the 5th inning. Want to remind you, second half of our doubleheader coming up next. Houston Astros taking on the San Francisco Giants. Giants off to a 6-2 start. Houston, of course, the defending Central champs. Lima and Estes, the scheduled starters. Giants at home against the Astros next. Boy, those fans in the right field bleachers are all over Bell. Standing up, pointing down at him. So are the fans along the line on the right bottom of the screen there. But so long as it stays at that, that's fair game. Two down, nobody on. Big day for Knobloch. Home run, 2 singles, 2 runs scored. The RBI fouls that one off. The Yankees have an 8-2 lead. The top of the orders, we showed you, has gotten it done. Runs, RBIs, on base. O'Neill waiting in the hole. About these Yankees, and they're going as well as they are from last year to this year. They can't wait to get to the ballpark. They can't wait to get to the plate. That chant is directed at Albert Bell.
Now they start the chant.
We can't repeat it, by the way.
We can repeat the first part.
It's Albert. Then you can finish it off. 1-2 delivery, grounded towards short. Bordick knocked it down, can't make the play. Knobloch is on again, and I suspect that'll be a single. It is, and a 4-for-4 game for Chuck Knobloch. See, the first 7, 4 for 23. He's equaled the number of hits in this game that he had in the previous 7. So he's on. 10 hits in the game for the Yankees. Again, it comes with 2 down.
Took his average from 174 to 288.
That'll work for him. Derek Jeter. Bonus misses down low with it. Ball 1. Jeter, double, single, walk, 2 runs across, scoring-wise.
Well, the Yankees are almost like a softball team. You get through their first 7 hitters, you breathe a little bit, and you get 8 and 9 out, and all of a sudden you come back up there even with 2 outs, and you say, how am I going to get another out?
Doesn't come easy. Paul O'Neill, number 3 hitter, waiting on deck. Knobloch, by the way, has had a 5-hit game in his career. He has a 4-hit game here, 4 for 4. Bonus's delivery, and Jeter rips that one back into the seats. Woo. Two ball, 1 strike count. There's Knobloch down there with the 4 hits, 4 of the 10 picked up by the Yankees. He was 5th in runs scored last year for this potent Yankee offense in that leadoff spot. Jeter takes it the other way to right field. Liner will curve back to Bell, who makes the catch and draws the booze. No runs, a base hit. 1 left on. Yankees lead the Orioles 8-2. National Football League Sports Century 50 Greatest Athletes, number 40, LT Lawrence Taylor, this Friday at 10:30 Eastern Time, the weekly event counting down the greatest North American athletes of the century. This week, Lawrence Taylor, right here on the mothership. Yankee Stadium is the site. Gary Thorne, Ray Knight, and our crew, the Yankees, with an 8-2 lead, out hitting the Orioles 10-4. David Cone will stay on, probably working his final inning. Chance to win his second game. 20-game winner last year, went 20-7. 3-4 lifetime against the Orioles. B.J. Surhoff has had a single, double, and an RBI. As the Orioles, for one brief shining moment, had a lead in the first inning when they got a run. Yankees came back with 3 in the bottom half and had not looked back. Foul back by Surhoff. All the great memories here, of course, start right there. George Herman, Babe Ruth. That one hit in the air to center field. Hauled in by Bernie Williams. This copyrighted telecast, presented by authority of the Commissioner of Baseball, may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent. Surhoff retired, 1 away. Cal Ripken coming up. Ripken's had an 0 for 2 tonight. 6th inning. Interesting day coming up for the Yankees. We were showing you Babe Ruth and out there in that Monument Park, as it's known. There'll be another monument added for the Yankee Clippers on April 25. Joe DiMaggio, who already has the plaque out there, will be honored with just the 5th monument here at Yankee Stadium. Ruth, Gehrig, Mantle, and Miller Huggins, the manager, have the monuments. See, the plaques are hanging and the monuments in front. Well, DiMaggio is going to have a monument April 25. Lots of folks will be here. That one to right field. O'Neill, 2 down. Ripken retired. We were told an interesting story. That plaque went up the same day Mickey Mantle's plaque went up. And Mantle and DiMaggio were both here that day, and Mickey, when he turned the plaque over to DiMaggio to be put up, said on the spur of the moment, if both these plaques are going up today, DiMaggio's must be a little higher than mine. Wow. And so it was hung that way and has stayed that way. Grounded to short. Webster is retired. Play made by Jeter. David Cone, a 1-2-3 inning. 7th pitch inning. He's retired the side in order for the last 2. The Yankees 2-4-2 for the Orioles. Go to the bottom half of the 6th inning. Moments ago, David Cone coming off after the 1-2-3 inning. Mel Stottlemyre, the pitching coach, with him.
Well, start off slow, a lot of pitches early, 60 pitches into the second. 79 into the third, finished that inning off with 7 pitches for a total of 113 on the night. Got his fastball, kept it up around 88 to 90 miles an hour, and to show you what he does, you mentioned him not having his good stuff, but here he only allows 2 and 6 innings, and that's a quality start.
Chance to go 2-0. David Cohn will be coming out of the ball game after 6. Only gave up 4 hits, 2 runs, and one of those was unearned. So a very successful start, even though he had to throw that many pitches. See how that got cut down in that second set, the last 3. Cut it right in half. And a strike taken by O'Neill. He's got an RBI single, a walk and a run scored on that one, and a strikeout. Started out right where he left off last season. Paul O'Neill, Bernie Williams, Tino Martinez due up for the Yankees. Ricky Bonas on, second full inning of work. 1 out in the 4th, retired the side on 1 hit in the 5th.
Ricky Bonas came over from, we signed him in the offseason in 96, into 96. He pitched in New York, right here at the American League, at a 14.14 earned run average. Came to Cincinnati, and just in 9 games, did get to see a lot of him. 17 innings pitched, 31 hits he gave up, 10.19 earned run average. Went to Kansas City at the end of 97 after we released him.
Another one the other way, and another base hit. Paul O'Neill on his way to second base. Surhoff's throw. Not in time. Leadoff double in the 6th, 2 for 3 for O'Neill.
And again, the opposite way. I'm not wearing that phrase out, but all you young hitters at home, think about pulling the ball, hitting the ball hard down the right field line if you're left-handed, left field line if you're right-handed. But in order to hit in the big leagues, you must be able to hit the ball the other way, unless you're awfully strong. Like, look at this, how he slides. He's got that patented, how he just gives you that kind of dead fish body slide away and reaches back with the hand.
Bernie Williams, switch hitter up. 11 hits now for the Yankees.
A little bit more about Ricky Bonas. 4-7 with Kansas City at the end of 97. 5.97 earned run average. Started 98 at Salt Lake City and Omaha. Had an 8.59 earned run average at Omaha. Got called up and did a good job for Kansas City. So after starting 5 years in Milwaukee and never having but 1 winning season, 10-9 in 1994, Ricky Bonas had earned run averages of 14, 10, 6, and 9, and got back to the big leagues with Kansas City. So that shows you how thin pitching is. Then he had a big year with Kansas City last year at 53 innings, just 49 hits, 2-2, 3.04, and got him a contract. He's just 29 years old.
Pitching. Sought after all over the place.
And you look at the numbers. We mentioned the Baltimore bullpen with Fetters, who's been around, and certainly Orozco, who's probably throwing better than anybody out there. Timlin, who came from, and Slocum, who came from.
Bordick makes the play. Williams out of there. O'Neill held at second base. Talking about how the players just love playing for Don Zimmer. Look at this with David Cohn.
Well, it's easy to play when you win all the time. Now, I mean, you talk about this difference between Ray Miller and Zimmer and Joe Torre. When you're not going out there winning all the time, it's pretty tough to feel bad about anything. You don't get any griping or complaining. I mean, it's easy to play. And it's when you start to struggle when you say, I love to play for a guy, and you really mean it. Because, you know, every winning team I've ever played on, you love to play for the manager. And every team that you ever play on that struggles, the manager always catches a heat. So, you know, it's easy to play when you're playing like the Yankees play. And it just gets easier and easier.
Ray Miller was saying he talked with Joe Torre by telephone the other day, and Ray said, Joe said to me, you know, I wasn't a great manager until I got here. So now all of a sudden everyone thinks I'm a genius.
Well, I remember in St. Louis the year that I was coaching with the Reds, and Mike Jorgensen came down as a player personnel director managing that ball club, and they fired Torre because they were so unhappy with him. And then here 3 years later, he's best manager in the world.
Bordick back, catches the pop-up, back to second base. O'Neill, Martinez out.
And I do believe, and always have felt, that Joe Torre was a great manager even then. When I saw him in a lot of games when he was with the Mets early on, when I played, and then with Atlanta, and he never, but they never won. Atlanta won one time, and they never won. So nobody ever gave Joe his credit or his due. And you look at Jimmy Leland, everybody thinks he's the greatest manager in the world, and check his one-loss record.
Yeah.
You know, you get with bad ball clubs, you're not going to win. It doesn't matter who you are.
2 down. Runner on at second base. Billy Davis up with 2 away, and O'Neill on with a leadoff double. 5 extra base hits for the Yankees. The power they've got. What Ray's talked about, taking the ball the other way for extra base hits, keeping outfields honest. Davis takes it down low. He had the double in the 4th inning that drove the starter Erickson out of the ball game. He's also reached on an error and walked. 8-game hit streak for Davis, player of the week. First one in the American League. Heathcliff Slocum, the right-hander whose name you do not pronounce quickly, is up for the first time. Orozco had also been up.
Yeah, I attempted to pronounce it just a few moments ago and kind of got hung up there.
You want to syllable that one just right.
Yeah.
1 ball, 1 strike count.
But he and Timlin came over from the Mariners, and you know that Lou gave up on them 4 or 5 or 6 or 10 times.
Yeah.
Could not find a closer. Used both of those men as a closer. Could not get them to respond.
You'll be interested to know the Devils have beaten the Sabres 2-1, moving into a first-place tie with Ottawa in the Eastern Conference with the National Hockey League. Right? And a strike taken on the outside corner. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Chili Davis. What? What'd you say?
That excites me. That really excites me.
We're going to have to talk about this. I can see that. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Don't even waste your time.
O'Neill on second, and that one is inside. 3 ball, 2 strike count. You're going to be supporting the Thrashers down there in Atlanta. That's your home state. New NHL franchise.
We're trying to get a minor league franchise in Albany, but we can't seem to get a. Even though they're taking the ticket orders, and you don't have to make a commitment. You can just say, I would like to see hockey. We can't get enough. We can't get 2,500 tickets.
Once they see it, they'll come. Fouled off and a 3 ball, 2 strike count.
Shoot.
So Davis battling. Ricky Bowness trying to get out of this after the leadoff double without giving up another Yankee run. Bowness will probably come out after this inning. The way the starters are going for Ray Miller, he has to be careful how he uses the middle relievers. Does anyway, but right now he's having to use everybody every night, so you really have to be careful of how many innings these middle relievers are throwing, or you're going to end up having him come back night after night. This Guzman, who pitched a fine game here last night for Baltimore, but suffered the loss. They stayed in it till late in the game at 2-2, and we mentioned the Yankees got a break on a ball that hit the bag at third, one that would have been fielded otherwise, and opened the inning up, and they went on to win it 6-3. And that's how the starters have struggled. Messina's got the 2 wins and that ERA of 8 for the other starters, who are 0-3 and could be 0-4 by the time this night's over. 3 ball, 2 strike count. Bonus to Davis. Another one the other way. Surhoff at the wall makes a fine running catch. B.J. Surhoff hauls it in. No runs. Leadoff double by O'Neill, but he is left across in Queens, playing some great baseball themselves, the Mets. Hideki Arabu has come out of the bullpen. We mentioned earlier, probably will be in the starting rotation when the games kick in for real. Right now they only need 4 starters. There are the numbers from Arabu for last year.
Yeah, he drew, as everyone out there probably knows now, George Steinbrenner's ire when he didn't cover first base a couple of times in spring training. His workouts didn't seem to have much zest or zeal. was real sloppy in his work ethic, and that's something that Mr. Steinbrenner nor the Yankees will tolerate. And as a result, they left him back in spring training. He's just 29 years old, missed his first start because of that. You saw Don Zimmer mention the situation there with Arabo and Mendoza. There's Ramiro Mendoza, who has to be the best number 5 starter or 6 starter in all of baseball. Look at that, 14 innings pitch. It's going to be hard to get him out of the rotation.
It is. Roger Clemens will be making the start tomorrow, looking for his second win.
Not too shabby, number 1.
Arabu, second appearance, worked a 1-2-3 ninth inning against Oakland on the 7th. Delino DeShields leading it off for Baltimore. They've had only 4 hits in the game. And DeShields batting in the number 9 spot, 0 for 1 and a walk. Arabu, fastball, but pretty straight. Splitter, slow curve. He'll get tagged for home runs. He doesn't mix those pitches up. And the fans don't like him a lot right now. And they're booing him as he leads off with a walk to DeShields.
Well, going back in '97 when they signed him to that long-term contract, when basically there was a bidding war to acquire his services, the first knock on him when he was 5-4 with a 7.09 earned run average was his work ethic. Roger Clemens, they acquired Roger Clemens. Roger Clemens, renowned for his workout ethic and all the things that he does to stay in shape and be a top premier pitcher, and thought that Arabu would, some of that would rub off on Arabu. But last year, no complaints at all. Coming to this ballpark, he had squelched all those rumors or all the finger pointing because he did work hard, and he had a great year, 13-9.
Runner goes. Throw down by Girardi, not in time to Jeter. So Delino DeShields, one of the few real base stealers on this team, picks up the stolen base for the Orioles. It'll be their second stolen base of the year.
Well, Orioles taking a chance here, running down 6 runs. That run's not going to really mean much, but Delino taking it upon himself, and everybody in all of baseball has dons his glasses to look at something. And all of baseball knows how slow Hideki Arabu is to the plate. I mean, I almost could steal a base.
Don't go too far out there. Almost. Oh, that's fair. Almost.
Yeah.
1 ball, 2 strike count. Brady Anderson.
And the only reason I couldn't is because I couldn't run to something.
No matter how slow he was.
I would get tired and stop.
2 ball, 2 strike count on Anderson. Arabu, 29 years old. Don Zimmer's got the lineup card. That's what he's reading. Looking to see who's coming here. 8-2 lead, 7th inning. There's the off-speed delivery. Anderson, a strikeout victim for Arabu.
See, that's the difference between a hitter that goes the opposite way and somebody likes to pull the ball. Brady Anderson, a lot of body movement getting out front, knowing that Arabu has a really good changeup. Here you see him take the ball out, and he's got the ball choked way back in his hand. Good, strong motion, arm motion. The ball just doesn't come out of there, 82 miles an hour. But Brady, notorious for trying to pull the ball.
There goes DeShields to third. Ball went off the umpire's chest protector. 2 stolen bases for DeShields. Huge jump. Girardi wouldn't have had a chance even if he'd come up cleanly to throw.
Well, you look how far off that the Yankees are playing, and that's the correct way to play. When you're up by 6 runs, you just play for the outs. You don't want to be jostling around the runner at second base and being out of position on a ground ball.
That one drilled for a base hit, so the stolen bases matter. The RBI goes to Mike Bordick. His first hit of the ball game, and it is an 8-3 Yankee lead. Bordick picks up the RBI.
This is where you really have to dig down if you're Hideki Arabu and really go hard and show manager Don Zimmer and Mr. Steinbrenner that you want to be on that mound, that you're not just soaking up those dollars and putting it in the back pocket and going to deposit it in the bank.
Will Clark 0 for 5 against Arabu in his career. Strike one on him. Clark has had a double and a run scored. Arabu still has something to prove. There is no question about that.
Well, there's a right way to approach the game, and that's why I have so much respect for the Yankees and the Braves, because their managers and George Steinbrenner are going to make sure you do the right thing. I remember last year with Bobby Cox and the Andrew Jones situation when he did not react to a fly ball the way that Bobby Cox thought he should. He jerked him right out of the game. That wouldn't have happened. 25 managers would have got hammered.
The other way down the line towards foul territory. It'll end up in the seats.
You know, maybe Jimmy Leland, maybe La Russa, maybe Joe Torre. But Bobby Cox has enough autonomy and power that he can make that decision. Players know that he's doing it for the betterment of the ball club. But managers don't have that power nowadays to correct things. Agents are so involved with everything. And I just have so much respect for organizations that when they see something wrong, they write it, they stand by it, and then a player has to go out and correct it.
Runner goes again. Perfect hit and run. Right behind the shortstop, Will Clark. It'll be played back in as Bordick was running. Jeter came over to cover, and Will Clark put it right in Jeter's footsteps for the base hit. First and third, one down.
Well, here you go. They're just running on something. When a pitcher gives it to you, you take it. And a little bit of obstruction here. He would have gotten third base even if he had been thrown out, because Jeter unintentionally got in his way. But whether it's unintentional or not, there's the first base coach with the watch. It's becoming pretty much a everyday thing now with major league clubs. I know that when I came up, we didn't have stopwatches. But now everybody seems to have a stopwatch timing, the pitcher's delivery and catcher's release time.
Arabu talking to pitching coach Mel Stottlemyre here. Home plate umpire Terry Kraft's going to come get him. Stanton's up in the bullpen, the left-hander. Mike Stanton warming up for the Yankees. Arabu's got a problem to deal with here, and that not only is he going to prove things to the Yankee coaches and ownership, but the fans are really on him. I mean, they wanted him to be pulled right there. They were cheering when Stottlemyre came out. Yankee fans at this point, or any point for that matter, aren't about to have somebody on the team who they think's a slacker. Arabu, rightly or wrongly, has gotten that label. One down, first and third, and a line shot center field for Bell. That'll be a single and an RBI, and hang on. All of a sudden, it's 8-4. Now the fans want Arabu really badly. Dell, who'd gone 0 for 3, but did have an RBI and a ground ball out, gets his second RBI of the game.
Well, they're trying to get Stanton ready. You have two left-handed hitters in Baines and Surhoff. And you're starting to get in that critical situation where a bomb puts you right back in the game. So I guess they're just going to try to give some work to Arabu.
Baines 2 for 5 lifetime off him. Arabu's off-speed pitch misses inside for a ball. So Arabu started the inning with a walk to Delino DeShields. He scored. Got a strikeout on Brady Anderson and 3 consecutive singles. Bordick, Clark, and Bell. And he falls behind 2-0.
See, this is sometimes when you're, as a manager, you're not really prepared. Suddenly, seems like a team's down, and you just want to get some work for your pitcher. Then all of a sudden, you get Stanton up, and you don't get him able to, as you see Stanton, the left-hander, Nelson, the right-hander, you don't give him enough time to get loose because things happen so quickly.
Baines, yeah, Baines got a 3-0. He's taking all the way, striking the inside corner. He wants to get on to bring the potential tying run to the plate in the person of B.J. Surhoff. Baines, a very patient hitter. Surhoff on deck with 1 down, 2 on. And Baines drills it deep to right field. Is there room? No! Goodbye home run! Harold Baines, a 3-run It's suddenly a one-run ball game. And Arabu's going.
I think one hitter too late. Boy, if you're going to get Stanton up, you got to have him up ready for Baines and Surhoff.
Fans all over Hideki Arabu. This is his second appearance. Gives up 5 runs in a third of an inning. Orioles are battling back. 7th inning, 3-run homer by Harold Baines, his second of the year. Stanton on for Arabu.
And with Stanton in the bullpen, he chooses to pitch Arabu to Harold Baines. Fastball down, and he just hit a rocket right out there to right center field and carrying out there in where they store the batting cage. And it really surprised me. I mean, Stanton was up. He should have had plenty of time to get ready. You've got your lineup set up for Baines and Surhoff. The only 2 left-handed bats in the lineup, except for DeShields down low. With 1 out, you bring him in. You know that Arabu is struggling. You don't want to let them get right back in the game. He's obviously been disrupted by the running of DeShields, stealing 2nd and 3rd, and then Bordick taking off as Will Clark got the base hit.
They're back now.
And now you've got a left-hander to face a left-hander and then 2 right-handed bats.
So B.J. Surhoff, dangerous hitter power-wise himself. He has an RBI single, a double, 2 for 3 in the game. Don Zimmer, Nell Stottlemyre, all of a sudden, whoa, 5 runs here in the 7th inning. Arabu charged with all of them. Mike Stanton. And Surhoff takes it for a strike. Surhoff 3 for 12. Lifetime of Stanton, who, as Ray mentioned, is very tough on the left-handers. So Stanton's primary job, come on and get him. 31-year-old left-hander. Breaking ball. That's his pitch against left-handed hitters. It moves them off the plate.
Well, he is very effective. 2 different breaking balls. Here's a big curveball, only 70 miles an hour. Really hard to stay back on that pitch.
1 down, bases empty. Breaking ball, he got him.
65. I didn't know you could throw it. I mean, speed limit's faster than that now, isn't it? It's hard to throw the ball 65 and not let it bounce. But look, big, slow, looping curveball, something that Stanton didn't have. And here we're going to have another change by Zim, which doesn't surprise me.
No.
He was just going to use 2 pitchers.
So Stanton will work just a third of an inning, get the strikeout, 2nd out of the inning. Jeff Nelson, who's been warming up, will come on to face Cal Ripken with 2 down. Like it was going to be a Yankee rout, has now become a Yankee trying to hang on game as the Orioles have battled back with 5 runs in the 7th inning. Stanton comes on to get his strikeout, and here is Jeff Nelson.
Jeff Nelson, a big side-arming right-hander, good sinker, good slider. If there's one spot that I think the Yankees are vulnerable, it's right in here. Middle to long relief with Mendoza now starting and Graham Lloyd moving on to Toronto in the Roger Clemens trade. Leaves a little void right in there, and that's one thing you've got to be really careful not to use too many pitchers in 1 inning. Arabu started this inning, and you bring in Stanton for 1 out. Now you're using Nelson for hopefully the other out for Don Zimmer.
Now let's see if he can get it done. He faces Ripken, 8th man up for the Orioles here in the 7th inning. Ripken has gone 0 for 3. Down to 167 on the season. 8-11-1 for the Yankees. 7-8-2 now for the Baltimore Orioles. We should note Harold Baines' home run. Ray, you were looking on number 350?
Yep.
For Harold Baines. 2 down. That one fouled off. Ripken trying to wind up on one right there. Strike 1.
Well, there's been no finer hitter in the American League than Harold Baines over the last 15 years. When you look at consistency, 291 lifetime average, you're going to end up with over 1,500 RBI, over 2,800 hits. So it's going to be really interesting when it comes up to his voting for the Hall of Fame, because there's a lot less offensive numbers in there.
Yep. Ripken takes it outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. That stance by Ripken.
That's about
the most unorthodox.
That's about probably the 40th stance I've seen Cal have in his career. You know, I'm going to be on Baseball Tonight Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and I'm probably going to go back into our files and try to find all the stances that he had, maybe do a little feature on it this week. What do you think?
I don't think there's ever been a hitter used as many in a career as he has. Inside by Nelson. So he falls behind on Ripken. 3 balls and 1 strike. Nelson's a fastball slider pitcher. Tried to come inside with that Ripken stance.
Well, he's not emulating anybody because all these are creations.
Yeah. No one else has ever used this. Outside corner strike, 3-2 on Ripken. Slider fastball, slider fastball. Jeff Nelson.
What it looks like Cal is trying to do is, by pushing that front leg out, is by keeping his weight back. And to me, it does the opposite. It
Gets the walk. Wow. So Nelson gives up the walk. Speaking of Baseball Tonight, tomorrow at 10:30 p.m. midnight as well. Kyle Ravitch, joined by Peter Gammons, Harold Reynolds,
Ray Knight,
and Ray Knight. The nightly highlights and in-depth analysis. Baseball Tonight.
I don't know if Peter's going to be there tomorrow night.
And we're going to get a pinch runner now, because this run represents the potential tying run in this ball game. So the Orioles will bring on Willis Olanez. Will come on and be the pinch runner. Willis Otanez. And Ripken out of there. No argument from Ripken on this. His base playing speed, not good. Extra base hit here. Baltimore want to give themselves a chance. And Webster's up. 9th man up in the inning. Webster's gone 0 for 2 and has drawn a walk in the ball game.
One thing about this move is I'd do it if the runner at first base could steal the base. I think that it's better to pinch run at second and have a chance to score the run there. You're just kind of wasting a player here. If he doesn't have the type of speed to steal second, there's not going to be a lot of triples hit. So it's a move that, you know, is kind of half to half.
And a chopper. Nelson hauls it down. Baltimore Orioles battle back against the Hideki Irabu, who gave up all 5 runs in the inning. 7th inning stretch taking place right now. The Orioles down by just a run. Hope their middle relievers can get it done, including Heathcliff Slocum.
Heathcliff, coming over from the Seattle Mariners last year, had just 3 saves. Really dropped off from 95-96, where he saved 32 games for the Phillies in 95 and 31 in Boston. Used to have a blazing fastball. Really struggled over the last 2 years. Boston in early 97, then Seattle, and then again Seattle last year. Fastball, slider, splitter.
Otanez, who came on to run for Ripken, will stay in at third base. So the Yankees now need more than just tack-on runs here in the bottom half of the 7th inning. Their lead has been cut to 1 as Baltimore batted around their half of the 7th. Shane Spencer leads it off, 0 for 3, including a couple of strikeouts. Ricky Bonas did his job, 2 1/3 innings out of the bullpen for the Orioles, giving up just 2 hits and striking out 2. So he kept the Yankees down, did give Baltimore a chance to get back. And they have. Strike on the outside corner, but not all the way. Good job of the 29-year-old right-hander Bonus, who will now sit and watch. And all of a sudden, David Cone, the starter for the Yankees, got to be sitting there a little more concerned than when he left with an 8-2 lead. Two ball, one strike count.
Ricky Bonus there, we saw, did his job holding the Yankees down. 5th and 6th.
2-1 the count on Spencer, bottom third of the order. Bellinger and then Girardi due up. Right-hander's pitch. Slocum misses inside. Here's another pitcher who's bounced all over the place. Ray was talking about 32-year-old right-hander. Number of teams. 8-year Major League veteran. Fastball straight down the middle on that one. 3-2. These bullpens, many of them scare managers. Baltimore's got one of them. Never quite know what's coming out of middle relief, whether or not you can get to a closer. Early on, a big concern for them. Strike called on the inside corner. Spencer really unhappy with that. He's gone down 3 times the K route.
Well, here's the definition of a high strike. Ball starts an inside part of the plate, doesn't break, back up breaking ball, and definitely was not high, too high. You see right there, he just gave up on it on the ball inside. Use that catcher's mask. Talked about it last week. Catcher's mask, pretty good indicator of the high strike. From the mask down, in my opinion, it should be a strike. A lot of times you see the ball right at the chin of the mask, and umpires will call that a ball or having to pass.
Don Zimmer obviously concerned here with the lead evaporating for the Yankees. See whether or not they can get it going now. A couple of hits, one each in the last 2 innings. They got those 5 runs on 4 hits in the 4th, and kind of looked like that was going to be enough. Clay Bellinger, the 30-year-old out of Aniata, New York. In the minor leagues, there's one to the screen. He's a .250 career hitter in 1,067 minor league games. Last 2 years played at Columbus, AAA ball for the Yankees.
Slocum's big problem has been his ability to throw the ball over the plate. Last year in 67 innings, 44 walks. Always seems to be behind hitters, all over the place with his release point. He has that almost dominating fastball when he has everything right. Want to know if he can blow on his hands. Cool night, trying to get a little moisture because the ball gets a little slick.
Got permission. 3-0, and he gets a strike on the outside corner. If you joined us late, Scott Brocious not starting for the Yankees tonight at third. He's got a twisted ankle. Don Zimmer said he didn't look very good when he came to the ballpark today, limping heavily on it, so day-to-day status. Bellinger gets a start at third. He would have had a walk right there. Went after the high fastball rather, out of the strike zone. 3-2.
Well, that type of swing used to be commonplace when you had all the hard throwers that threw that ball up ground. Chest high, JR, Richard, Seaver, D'Acquisto.
And he's got himself a base hit into the left field corner. P.J. Surhoff bobbled it. Going to second base. Bellinger's first major league hit. He waited 10 minor league years and 1,067 minor league games to get it.
Well, no matter what you do in the course of your career, that's the one thing that stays embellished in your mind is that first major league hit. Everything gets to be kind of groggy or faint. Here it is, just a fastball over the plate and very aggressive, as you saw in that 3-1 pitch. Chose to swing at that high fastball. Tells me that he loves the fastball and jerked it down that left field line with some juice on it.
See the back pocket there of Willie Randolph. He's got the baseball. Clay Bellinger will have that one to take home and put on the mantle. If any kid ever earned it, he did. When he was told that he had made the club and was going north with the Yankees, Don Zimmer got to tell him. He cried. Just cried.
It's an unbelievable feeling. I spent 6 years in the minor leagues and got called up at the end of the '74 season, and nobody saw me, but en route from Indianapolis to Cincinnati. You know, that's your dream, man. In 10 years, getting buried in the minor leagues, not knowing whether you're ever going to get a chance, not making any money.
Joe Girardi, big hit. Bellinger started back to second. He's got to hustle. Brady Anderson will get it in and hold him up. So Girardi delivers the single, and the Yankees, leading by 1, turn it right back on again against Heathcliff Slocum. And here's that middle relief Baltimore's been concerned with.
Really tough read here for Bellinger at second base. Line drive right back up the middle through the pitcher towards second base. You have to hold right there. Nothing you can do. Brady Anderson did a great job, but he did the right thing. Tough read, ball 3 or 4 feet the other way. He's going to end up being doubled off, but great job of reading the ball from a rookie. Don Zimmer watches. Says, come on. Well, hey, Don, I know you want him to score, buddy, but that ball should have been doubled off. He just said, hey, boy.
Here's Knobloch. Can he have a 5-for-5 day? Inside corner strike from Slocum. First and third, 1 down. Fetters and Orozco. Orozco, the left-hander. Knobloch has homered, singled 3 times, scored twice. Runners on at first and third. Yankees with 13 hits in the game. Knobloch, 1 hit away from his career high 5 hits in a game. And the Yankee fans have been ignited again. 2 on, 1 out. Knobloch last year, 269 with runners in scoring position. Way up high by Slocum. Boy, can't dig in a whole lot on Heathcliff Slocum.
But you watch, he'll throw balls all over the place, and then when it gets to 3 and 2, he'll throw the ball right down the middle. So I don't know how much of this is by design. You know, that's not a bad pitch, 0-2, to throw that ball, but it's pretty much just a waste pitch. If nobody's going to swing at the ball up there, then it makes you aware of the ball high, and you make yourself look down. But if you're going to throw a pitch 0-2 high, make it a pitch just up above the letters with some juice on it. It doesn't do you any good to throw it up there neck high. There's no hitter in the world that, well, there's a few of them that would swing at it. Manny Sanguillen.
Yeah.
And lace it somewhere.
2 ball, 2 strike count. Slocum, first and third, 1 down. Infield playing for 2. And a 5-for-5 day. Knobloch, RBI single. And over to third base. Good base running by Girardi. He last did it against Texas in '96.
He also had 5 hits on third base in 1996 with the Twins at Texas.
So a big night for Knobloch.
And again, right back up the middle, 2 strikes, inside out the ball, drives it right up the middle. Watch his hands come in and work the ball hard up the middle, not trying to pull the ball. A lot of base hits that way. When I finally learned to hit, I became a good major league hitter, hit 303 times simply because I quit trying to pull the ball and just hit the ball the other way.
Once they start doing it, it matters. So Bellinger gets his first major league hit, scores a run. Yankees up 9-7. Knobloch has raised his average tonight 147 points. 5-for-5. Derek Jeter, Knobloch goals, no throw, stolen base.
That's where this club can really just kill you. Got that speed at the top with Knobloch, Jeter, O'Neill surprising with his ability to go from first to third. Williams runs well. Now you've got a situation here that can blow the ball game open and know where to put Jeter, although first base is open, you certainly have to go get an out here and make a decision whether or not to go to O'Neill or Williams.
Infield is drawn in. Good block made by Webster. So they lose the chance to get the double play. Knobloch's got 2 stolen bases tonight, as well as a 5 for 5. The infield's played in by the Orioles, helping Jeter out. He's already had a double, single, walk, 2 runs scored, RBI.
Well, if he gets Jeter out, then you'll see the left-hander, either Rhodes or Roscoe, coming here to face O'Neill and Martinez.
Breaking ball misses. 2-1 strike count on Derek Jeter. Well, the Yankees seemingly just turn it on when they need it. 5 runs in the top half of the inning. Astros Giants, second half of our doubleheader coming up next.
Orioles having to play their infield in, leaves an awful lot of room out there.
And there's a hard shot. Great stop, Bordick. Got him trapped. Runner's still there at third base. They'll chase him over to the bag, put the tag on. What a play made by Mike Bordick. That saves at least 1 run, maybe 2, as Jeter hit it hard, but Bordick got to it and caught Knobloch off second base.
Well, what you have to do there, Gary, and that's a bad job right there by Girardi. Ball on the ground, second, third, you have to go. Force the play to play. Force the plate, play at the plate. Great job by Bordick. There you see the runner on second base. Knobloch, knowing that the third base coach will generally give you a sign. Stay here or you're going on a ground ball. Girardi saw the ball hit, did not react. So either Knobloch or Girardi failed to do the right thing.
Slocum out. Left-hander Jesse Orozco on to face O'Neill. Protected what is just a 2-run deficit with this play.
Second, third, 1 out. Infield in. Ground ball contact play. You're either going or you're not. Here you see Girardi going back to third. You see Knobloch coming. Willie Randolph will give a sign pointing to home. Generally, if you're going on contact, ground ball contact, pointing to the ground. If you're not, one of those two, 25 there, Girardi, number 11, Knobloch, did not get the sign.
Left-hander Jesse Orozco, 41 years old, almost 42. Another week. But he is pitching maybe as well as he's ever pitched. He says, I am, and his manager says he is. Runners on at first and third. Girardi stays at third. Jeter on at first. O'Neill. Why would you bring Orozco in if you read the numbers? This is why. Never had a hit off him. That's not because he doesn't hit lefties well. Paul O'Neill had a very strong .296 batting average, .286 rather, off left-handers last year. This left-hander has given him a career's worth of problems. That big breaking ball of Orozco misses. 1-1.
Well, Jesse throws a breaking ball that breaks as much as anybody I ever faced. I faced him in '85, even to a right-handed hitter. Very difficult. He could throw the ball very much like Carlton, where it started away from you and broke down at your shoelaces. It almost starts behind a left-handed hitter. Very difficult to stay on that ball.
Breaking ball hit in the air to deep right field. Did he stay? Yes, he did. Goodbye, home run. The over's gone.
So much for stats. That's my theory. My theory is,
That is the 1,001st RBI for Paul O'Neill as he crosses the plate. A 3-run homer and the Yankees lead at 12-7.
It's just tough to wade through this Yankee lineup without a lot of damage. There's a breaking ball at him, but it stayed up, belled high. Watch O'Neill drop his head, as he does after he hits every home run. He doesn't show any fanfare, just drops his head, goes into his jog. Boy, what a hitter. What a baseball team.
12-7. It's like they had toy with you. Baltimore got back to within 1, 5 runs in the top half. Yankees have answered with 4, over 1,000 RBIs now for Paul O'Neill. That goes up on the board in center field, and that's what the Yankee hand is for right now. Ernie Williams fights it off. They want O'Neill to come out and take a bow. He's not one to do that sort of thing, but they're really ripping it right now. He waves, but he won't come out. He's just not that kind of a player. 1 ball, 1 strike count. And Williams takes it low. Jesse Orosco had gotten him 16 times without giving anything up. And O'Neill hits a 3-run homer off him.
How about this? 1, 2, 3-hole hitter, 5 for 5, 2 for 4, 3 for 4, 10 for 13.
They have just torn it up. 2-1 by Orosco. Williams grounds it down to third, foul ball. 2 ball, 2 strike count. Paul O'Neill, yes.
Hey, Zim, with the bad knees, you know, the only thing you need as a manager is a good heart.
That's right.
You know, you can have bad knees. Bobby Cox can show you that. You can have all kinds of things. You got a bad heart and high blood pressure, you're in trouble.
That's right. 2 ball, 2 strike count. As O'Neill relaxes. So does David Cohn somewhere in the clubhouse. Orosco gets the strikeout. Paul O'Neill, 4 RBIs in the ball game, 3-run homer in the inning. There for that second half of our doubleheader. Here's our game summary brought to you by 989 Sports 2000. New York leading it 12-7. Baines, 350th career homer. Erickson, real tough start. Yankees 1 through 4 hitters. Oh, David Cohn could still win this game. He gave up just 1 run on 4 hits over his 6. Paul O'Neill greeted with standing ovation from the Yankee fans as he came out to play right field. Chuck Knobloch's had a 5 for 5 ball game, second in his career. Derek Jeter, he has delivered in this game with RBI double, a single. He has scored 3 runs. Go around here. This is his first hit for the young third baseman tonight. Bellinger picked it up, 7th inning, a double to kick it off. Nelson is actually in a save situation if he were to complete this game. Not likely that will happen. But both teams have big 7th innings. 5 for Baltimore, 4 for the Yankees in the 7th. And now Baltimore's got to do it again. They batted around in their half of the 7th inning. Delino DeShields started the inning out with a walk and would score one of those 5 runs. All came off Arabu. Nelson gets it in, a ball and 2 strikes. $19 runs in the ball game, 23 hits combined. Yankees trying to take the 2nd of this series and the 8th in a row against Baltimore at Yankee Stadium, having won all 6 here last year and last night 6-3. Strike 3 call. Nelson gets the strikeout. DeShields caught looking.
Just look, I guess that's a fastball. I thought it was a slider when I first saw it, but just a fastball inside part of the plate. Delino must have just been looking away. Sometimes you get caught, can't pull the trigger on that pitch inside. I thought it was a slider that he gave up on, but it was just a straight fastball.
Brady Anderson as Delino DeShields goes back. Anderson, 1 single, 1 for 3 officially, walk and a run scored. Slocum 2/3 of an inning out of the bullpen for Baltimore. 3 runs, 3 hits, 1 strikeout. Orosco ended up being charged with one of those runs on the homer by O'Neill, and Jesse's still in the ball game at this moment at least. 1 ball, 1 strike count. There's Orosco. His heavily worked bullpen in the first week of Baltimore does not come through so far in this game. Nelson, the high kick, missed up high with it. And Brady Anderson ahead on the count. 2 balls, 1 strike. What does the American League have to look at pitching-wise outside of the Yankees? How about the Yankees having outscored the opposition 60-24 in their first 8 games? 60-24. Jeez.
All I can say is, all I can do is shake my head.
There is talk. This club being better than last year's. Maybe.
Well, when you establish a goal or establish a high watermark of 114 wins, you know, everybody says 125. I say 114. They won that many during the regular season.
Yeah.
You know that your club is not weakened. You've added Roger Clemens. You think that good things are going to happen for you. And they're just the type of ball club now. They have all the ability in the world, but things continue to happen positively for them. And you get Brocious hurt, you get a young kid comes up and gets his big base hit. Right now, Irabu seems to be the only thing that is holding them back from being totally complete. And I do have a little bit of concern about the bullpen.
Towering pop-up back. And no play. It's the guide wire that time.
But then I check myself and say, well, what are you looking for? A perfect ball club? And they have the best starting pitching in the game. They've got the best offense in the game. They play solidly on defense. They have speed. They have power. And
you are looking for the perfect team.
You really are.
And they're close.
And they're close. And that's how good they are. When you have to search that hard to find a weak spot, and you know that weak spot is where Mendoza becomes a starter as opposed to the guy that sets up the setup, the closer.
The walk with 1 down. Let's check in with Trey Wingo. Trey.
Hey, Gary Ray, what's the weather like where you are? You could be here. Padres and Rockies in the second. Tony Gwynn hits one into the gap. Not that you can see it with all the snow falling. On the play, Dave Maggott and Stan Spencer score. Right now, they're in a snow delay. 4-0 Padres.
Jimmy Leyland
came
from
skiing.
Florida. 2 years ago, World Series, Cleveland and Atlanta. Batting practice in Cleveland. They were playing Christmas carols. I could not believe it. It was cold. The PA system put on, it was Cleveland and Florida. They put on the Christmas carols, and the guys took batting practice. And there's a balk. So Nelson commits the balk on the throw over to Brady Anderson. He'll move down to second base. Mike Bordick at the plate. You see Don Zimmer and talking to Stottlemyre about why was it a balk. Let's look and see why.
Because he made the step and didn't throw. Not one continuous move.
That was ugly.
That was ugly. I could have even called that. We didn't need Bob Davison here.
That was ugly. And a strike on the outside corner to Bordick. Bordick came through with an RBI single in the 7th inning. 1 for 4. I thought he was going to shoot a hook shot. Dragging his pivot foot with the arm going up. 1-1 count. Runner at second. That is a fair ball. Ellinger makes the play over. Runner holds at second base. Bordick retired, and there are 2 down here in the 8th inning.
Maybe a little easier to make that throw after you get your first hit. Bellinger, another young, as we talked about, not necessarily young, but Yankee player that believe it or not, although 10 years in the minor leagues and drafted by Don Zimmer's son, can really play. The big thing has been his bat, his power, but he plays shortstop, second, third, actually can play outfield and catch. So that's one of the big reasons he made this ball club. He's like having 2 people out there on your bench.
2 down. Those kind of guys can find work, especially if you can catch and be an emergency catcher. Just to be late at night. Trying to find things to do over there to stay awake. Foul back.
Especially pitchers.
Especially pitchers. They know they're not going to work. They're on the bench. They aren't up. Jorge Posada, backup catcher. There's no way he should have to continue to.
Posada, he won't be in there.
Nah.
Leday, he not with this lead. He's not going to be in there.
We should have had someone down in the clubhouse keeping count of cups of coffee taken out of the clubhouse by these two teams tonight, along with cookies and whatever snacks were left. I bet there aren't many left right now. 1 ball, 1 strike. And the fastball's up high. 2-1. More than one player has been caught in a ball game that looked like it was going to be a runaway in the clubhouse. Jersey off, a cup of coffee, a couple of cookies, maybe an adult beverage. Suddenly to find the other team was coming back on them and someone screaming into the clubhouse saying, "They need you, they need you."
Heck, you go back to the World Series in '86. I wasn't in the clubhouse to confirm it, but they said that Kevin Mitchell was already getting undressed and he had to come up and pinch hit. Got a base hit. He could always hit out of bed there, out of his shorts.
3-2.
You were there.
I was there. Yeah, I was thinking of that, in fact. 3 ball, 2 strike count, 2 down. For the Baltimore Orioles tonight, it has been a long, hard, winding road. They came back to within 1 in the 7th, only to see that disappear again to a 12-7 lead, and Nelson has surrendered his 3rd walk. With a 12-7 lead, he has walked 2 here in the 8th inning.
Well, that's another thing that you see now that you did not see 10 or 12 years ago, at least not as inconsistently, is people coming in seemingly afraid to throw strikes, always using 3 or 4 pitches to each hitter, and not just coming in, throwing strikes. I mean, this is a great defense. You look at Grimsley out there, broke the story about Albert Bell's cork bats.
And here's Bell, who wishes Grimsley were pitching.
And those of you that don't know that story might not get through it with 2 outs, but Grimsley, a pitcher for the White Sox at the time, bat confiscated, excuse me, Indians at the time, bat confiscated by then manager for the White Sox, Gene Lamont. Grimsley through the night, climbs up through the bowels of the stadium, goes down through a little chute, gets a bat, replaced it with another bat, Paul Sorrento bat, and he admitted it, I guess, last week. And the reason he didn't get an Albert Bell bat was because all the bats that Albert Bell had were cork.
So Grimsley's in the bullpen and Bell's at the plate. Only the distance of the field separating the two. 1 ball, 2 strike count. Nelson trying to get him out of here. 2 on, 2 down. And Bell, the towering pop-up behind first that Martinez will be able to get under. And in fair territory, puts it away. So Bell retired. A couple left on. We go to the bottom half of the 8th inning. Bell now 1 for 5 in the ball game. Back here at Yankee Stadium, it has been a wild ball game. Yankees lead it by a score 12-7, trying to win their 2nd in a row against the Baltimore Orioles. We questioned at the top, just how good are these Yankees this year? Do they just like turn it on when they need it?
Well, I just think they're so good. We talk about a perfect ball club, and this team has the pitching, the power, the defense, and the bullpen with the great closer. And all we're looking at is just an example of how good they are offensively and defensively. And the Baltimore Orioles struggled tonight, struggled all year, and they just can't match up with this ball club.
No, and that may be a harsh reality that's going to set in early in Baltimore. What impact will that have on what happens to Ray Miller as manager, or other moves that Baltimore might want to make with his team? Jesse Orosco facing Martinez. He drills it way back center field. 408, and it's going to be up and off the wall. Tito Martinez will stop at second base as the left-handers hitting Jesse Orozco hard.
Well, we've said it time and time again. You're not going to find a more professional hitting team from 1 through 9 than this ball club. The reason, because they do not try to pull the ball. They have confidence in hitting the ball hard the other way. As a result, very difficult to pitch to them. Always go deep in the pitch count because they don't commit themselves so much to trying to pull the baseball.
Tino Martinez gets his second double of the year. His first hit. Only Shane Spencer is without a hit in the lineup tonight. That one all the way to the screen by Orozco. That'll be a wild pitch. Over to third base goes Martinez. Tough outing for Jesse Orozco.
Tough outing for the whole Baltimore staff. And this is something that's become commonplace. They're a ball that's just impossible to catch. 58 feet in front of the plate. Nothing you can do about it. And I feel for Ray Miller. I was in the same situation in Cincinnati. Everything that was written was negative. You come to the ballpark working hard, doing the best that you can, throwing your guys out there, and you're just short. You know, the only difference is he had about 85 million more on his payroll than we had there. But still, it's a tough, tough job when you put people out there and they don't do what they're supposed to do.
I really wonder, not only is Baltimore, I think, going to struggle to compete with the Yankees. I think this team's in trouble in the division. I don't know how they're going to finish any better than third, and I think they may be fourth when it's done.
Well, it's still early, and that guy right there is going to have a lot to do with it. Delano's a great little player. It's just the feel that you get right now around this ball club is that they're beaten. You look right there, Brady Anderson. It just feels that way, and it is early in the year, and I hope they can turn it around for Ray Miller's sake. A lot of gamers on the ball club, a lot of people that play hard go out and try to do their job, but dang it, you get in that hole, and it's tough. And unless you've been there, it's hard to realize.
Ray Miller is going to make a pitching change now because Orozco's given up the walk to Chili Davis. And the Yankees here in the 8th inning have 2 on. Nobody out. Yankees have the 12-7 lead. Mike Fetters, who had been warming up the bullpen for the last couple of innings, is going to come on, and Jesse Orozco will come out of there having surrendered the big 3-run homer in the 7th inning to Paul O'Neill.
Trey Wingo with you in the Baseball Tonight studios. Last year's Blue Jay, Jose Canseco, did this 46 times. This is his 3rd of the year for Tampa Bay, his 400th career run homer, but it wasn't enough as the Blue Jays win it 7-6. A reminder, coming up in just a little bit, the Astros and Giants. Houston leading it 1-0 now in the bottom of the 2nd inning. But for right now, back to Gary and Ray in the Bronx.
Yeah, Trey, the Toronto now moves above 500, 5-4 with their victory. So New York, Boston, Toronto, all above 500 in the American League East. Here's Mike Fetters.
Mike Fetters with that 10.13 earned run average has been around 33 years old. Milwaukee, Oakland, 2 2/3, 3 hits. Talking to one of the highly respected former Oriole players about this bullpen, and he said basically it was just a retread staff. When you look at their staff with Timlin and Fetters and Orozco and Slocum.
We got a pick off here. Davis, remember there's a runner at third. Runner's coming home. We got a balk. There's a balk called. So Fetters will be charged with a balk. Scoring will be Martinez for third. Davis going down to second base. This game, despite the Oriole comeback in the 7th inning, is a disaster for Baltimore. Fetters is going to argue that he stepped to third, then turned to throw to first. Ray Miller will come out to plead his case. The third base umpire, Jim Joyce.
You know what? They could eliminate this play as far as I'm concerned. It's like the 45-foot line to me. 2 things in baseball in all these years that if they ought to review the rules of baseball, 2 things that ought to be changed in my mind. That 45-foot line, which causes so much controversy on bunts, and this play where you step toward third and throw back to first. They talk about a balk being deceiving the runner, but yet they've somehow allowed this play because third base is occupied. You step over there, and then you throw back to first base. I don't think that it's a fair rule. To start with, they never call a balk, but in this particular case they did. Watch what he does. He steps toward third, but you got to sell the step. It can't be just putting your foot down. You got to step to third like you're going to go there, then throw to first. That was a pretty quick toe tap there.
So it's a balk, run scored. Jim Joyce the call. Runner at second base, still nobody out, and a 2-0 count on Spencer. Looking to join the hit parade. He's the only Yankee without a hit, Shane Spencer. Spencer in the ball game has struck out 3 times and hit into a fielder's choice. Joey Davis goes down to second on the box. Yankees now have added another here in the 8th inning. 13-7. Balk and a wild pitch in this inning. Fetter's deliveries file back on the high strike, or high pitch, probably not a strike actually. 2-1. Fetter's coming over from Anaheim. Had been with Oakland and Anaheim last year, 2-8 combined. He appeared in a lot of games, 48 with Oakland, 12 with the Angels. Had picked up 5 saves combined on the year. 3-1 the count. 34 years old, out of Van Nuys, California. Three and 1. Fouled off by Spencer. And a 3-ball, 2-strike count. 26,898 on hand for the ball game. One of those as a souvenir. Every ballpark adding new luxury type seats down on the field or close to it. Yankees have those right behind the backstop. 3-2. There's a great stop made. Webster, what a long night he's had behind the plate. So the walk will put Spencer on. The offensive charge tonight against Ray Miller's team by the Yankees goes on. Look at this, the Yankee in-game box. Spencer's the only one without a hit, but he's walked. Hit Knobloch at the top with Jeter, O'Neill, Williams, all producing. They've outscored the opponents 61-24 so far, and not done yet here tonight. That is a scary box score. Incomplete, nevertheless. And the fastball by Fetters is inside. Bellinger's first major league hit, a double in the 7th inning, opening it up. The Yankees got 5 runs in the 7th. Had 4 hits. And a strike on the outside corner. Jesse Orozco charged with a couple of runs so far. He's responsible for Davis on at second base. Bellinger, 0-2 count. Houston playing at San Francisco. We'll take you there, second half of our doubleheader, as soon as this game is completed here at Yankee Stadium, where the Yankees have the 13-7 lead. Can Mike Mussina be the stopper tomorrow for Baltimore against Roger Clemens? They definitely need another fine start from Mussina, just because, 1, they need it, and 2, this bullpen is way overworked. That'll take care of Bellinger, the strikeout victim. Fetters gets his first K.
Good pitch by Fetters here. Split finger down. I don't imagine Mr. Bellinger's seen a lot of those type splits. Not in AAA for 10 years.
Not a lot of.
There's such a big separation between AAA and the major leagues. Probably the biggest jump that you have to make. They used to say between AA and AAA. But when you go down and watch AAA baseball, you see that there's a lot of difference. Mainly in consistency. And more than anything, what I see is speed. The young players there, and strength.
He's obviously worried. The Yankees going to have to make a roster move. Andy Pettit's going to be coming back to pitch on Saturday. And what that move's going to be apparently not decided yet. That one hit in the gap right center by Girardi. Way back at the wall, off the top of the wall. Joey Davis is going to come home to score, and that will be the lone RBI. Davis scores. Spencer to third. RBI double for Girardi. 14-7.
Pitch up in the strike zone again, right around the belt. Girardi hits it again to the off side of the field. How many balls have we seen tonight of these 17 hits have either gone up the middle or the opposite way? I can only think of O'Neill's home run, really, that was pulled.
Amazing. 14 runs, 17 hits, and Knobloch with a chance to set a new career high. He's had a 5-for-5 night already. A home run in the first inning, and then 4 consecutive singles. 2 RBIs. You could match a Yankee record for most hits in a game. He's not gonna. Center field, Brady Anderson. Runner tags won't come. So Knobloch 5 for 6.
First inning, 5 hits, home run to right field, then a base hit right back up the middle. Then the next at bat, same thing, right back up the middle. Then in the 5th inning, hits a line drive, ground ball right back up the middle. Then a line drive right back up the middle. A lot of hits up the middle.
A lot of hits. Last one to have a 6-hit game for the Yankees, Gerald Williams at 96 at Baltimore in a 15-inning game. He was the last to do it. Knobloch had a chance right there. Couldn't get it. Derek Jeter. Runners at second and third for the Yankees. 2 down. Fetter's pitch is fouled off. Derek Jeter, another big night for him. Double in the first inning and an RBI. Astros Giants. Coming up next, we'll take you there. Jose Lima, Sean Estes, the starters. Giants 6-2. Astros to put some numbers up, defending their Central crown. Line shot hauled in by Delino DeShields. Jeter's retired, but the Yankees add a couple more. We go to the 9th inning.
If you don't think these guys take it seriously, Chuck Knobloch coming into the game hitting 160. Pops up after going 5 for 5 and shows a little bit of disgust, slamming his glove, checking his bat, see where he made contact. Eases over to the bench, sits down. But that's the kind of player you want. I mean, I thought so unjustly ridiculed last year. His defense lapsed a little bit. Offensively, batting average down. But production-wise, you know, I guess when you pay that kind of money and you're surrounded by so many great players, you're looking for perfection, as we talked about tonight.
Got to go after somebody, right?
I mean, second baseman hitting 17 home runs, scoring 117. My goodness. And Fetters still upset about the balk. Well, he definitely made a step, but I think it was such a quick step that the umpire didn't think he sold the play.
I agree with you. Just eliminate that whole thing.
Yeah, I just don't like it.
Jason Grimsley has come on for the Yankees in the 9th to try and close it out. 14-7. Yankees on top.
It's just like if the runner's on second base and he breaks and starts to third, and you stride toward third and he continues, it's not a balk. But if he stops, it's a balk because you throw into an unoccupied base. Well, he's wound up, isn't he? Sit down. Dang, grab some pine.
A lot more to worry about in there than that balk.
Yeah.
Breaking ball just is missed down low. Jesse Orozco, a third of an inning, 3 runs charged to him. A couple of hits, a walk and a strikeout, a big home run by O'Neill off him. Baines had what looked like a big hit in the 7th inning. It was at the time. 3-run homer. Pitch is in for a strike, 1-2. The Yankees quickly responded after Baines drove that ball out and brought his team to within 1. An 8-7 score at the time. Not anymore. 5th pitcher used by the Yankees. Each team has used 5. Knobloch at second. Baines retired, 1 down. Let's check in again with Trey Wingo. Trey?
Gary, the Astros came into San Francisco 3rd to last in runs scored. That may be changing. Jeff Bagwell gives Sean Estes a ride, his first of the year. That made it 3-0. That's where they stand right now. Keep in mind the Stros have won 6 straight against the Giants. And Gary and Ray, the Rockies game snowed out. Back to you.
Wow, snowed out. If you can't play ball, and just go skiing. 1 down, B.J. Surhoff. Surhoff, double, single, RBI, 2 for 4 in the ball game. Hitting at .250 early in the year for Surhoff.
And how's this for a stat? The Orioles have given up 6 runs in 7 of the 8 games that they've played this year. 14 tonight.
Wow. His outing versus the Tigers. His first appearance in the majors since '96. Jason Grimsley. And that misses down low. 2 ball, 1 strike count. Talking about pitchers coming from everywhere, Ray. Jason Grimsley, another one of those. And they are scouring the world, literally, in the majors. Find arms. Surhoff will fight that one off. Evens the, takes the count, 2-2.
Well, they just need to pay a little attention to David Cone. He only threw 1 pitch tonight, over 90 miles an hour. We talked about how he changed speeds. You look at all the pitchers that were acquired by Baltimore, Fetters, Slocum, and Timlin, they all throw 90 plus. Bonus not quite 90.
He's gone.
And there you go, a little 77-mile-an-hour breaking ball. What you have to do is you have to have a good fastball in this league. You have to be able to spot the good fastball. Then you have to get hitters off that fastball by throwing breaking balls and changeups for strikes. Then once you get them off onto the breaking balls, you got to be able to have the ability to throw the fastball to spots, either overpowering them with four-seam fastballs or offsetting their timing with movement on those fastballs. And just people come up throwing nothing but cheese or just throwing the ball all over the place, not even close. The command is the biggest thing I see different.
Willis Otada is up now, getting his first at-bat. Came on as a pinch runner. B.J. Surhoff arguing about that last call, 3rd strike, shut him down. Jason Grimsley trying to wrap it up for Bell and company and the Orioles. A long night. Rhino to Shields. They tried to come back against the Yankees, who had an 8-2 lead, made it 8-7. The Yankees just blew it wide open again. Here in the ninth, 14-7, 2 away. Fetters, the 5th pitcher used, leaning forward there. They'll go at it again tomorrow. Game 3 of this series against the Yankees. It won't get any easier. Roger Clemens tomorrow for the Yankees. 1-1 delivery inside. Jason Grimsley, as you were wondering, last year pitched at AAA Buffalo. The year before, he was at Tucson and Omaha. California in '96, he had 35 appearances for Anaheim. Last time he was in the majors prior to this year. 2-1 delivery by Grimsley is lined up the middle for a base hit. So with 2 down here in the 9th inning, Montanez delivers the single. That'll be hit number 9 for the Orioles. And with 2 away, give Lenny Webster an opportunity with Montanez on at first base.
The catcher, Lenny Webster.
Clemens and Mussina tomorrow. Mussina's 2-0, Clemens 1-0. tomorrow night. Match up here. Then the Orioles move on to Detroit. That one in foul territory and a 1-strike count. For Webster, 0 for 3 and a walk. Incredibly, the starters in this game are the pitchers of record. Scott Erickson probably be the loser. That one far enough away. Runner moves up 1. Thinks about 2. Otunya's going to third. No throw. So the wild pitch moves him up 2 bases. Grimsley buried that one to the backstop.
Really bad breaking ball. Bad enough that it's almost out of the left-handed batter's box. Girardi doing everything he can to get out there. Falls down, stumbles, rolls over. By that time, it's 50 feet back there to the backstop. What are you laughing at?
Just a reminder, this is Major League Baseball. Good gosh. 1-1 delivery. A chopper down to third. Tough play, but foul. Bellinger knocked it down, but it was in foul territory. And a 1-ball, 2-strike count. It's way past Zim's bedtime, I'll tell you that much. Yankees are going to win their 7th in a row and go 7-1. Baltimore will be 2-6, having lost their 3rd. 1-2 delivery by Grimsley, fouled off again by Webster. Approaching a 4-hour ball game, over 3 hours and 50 minutes so far. David Cone gave up just 2 runs, 1 earned on 4 hits over 6. He'll win his 2nd game for the Yankees, go 2-0. 1-2 delivery, and that's it. Grimsley gets the strikeout, and the Yankees under Zimmer win it 14-7. Coming up next, the Houston Astros, San Francisco Giants. We're going there. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com, part of the Go Network, go.com. For Ray Knight, all of our crew here in New York, thanks for joining us, everybody. Yankees come away big time, 14-7. Thank you to Bob Carpenter and